thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
We are back and better than ever for episode 455. 450.
You might be off by one there.
Okay.
No, I think you're right. 455.
All right. 455 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing. Recorded from South Dakota, of course. And my name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
455. We've got a special important guest coming up here a little later in the episode, Big Gluck. We've got so many topics to cover. A lot going on, though.
This is a topic-rich episode.
Big time. There's been a lot going on in the world of Massenomics this last week, so we have a lot to get to. Before we get into any of that, I got to say, make sure to check out Build Fast Formula supplements. They're the supplements that we know, use, trust. We trust them because we know them. We use them because we trust them. It's like a circle thing that we're in, and come join our circle. Yep. Vaso Blitz, Full Blitz. Those are the two pre-workout formulas. We use them both. And then the 80-20 protein powder is what we also use. Check out their full lineup of formulas at buildfastformula.com. Use our discount code. That'll save you 10% on every order, anytime you order. If you order a subscription of any of their products, you get another 10% off. So check it out, buildfastformula.com. Thank you.
This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Since 1980, Texas Power Bars have proudly been made in the USA. And you say, well, the USA is really big. Where specifically are Texas Power Bars made? They are made in Texas. And Tanner and I have been fans of Texas Power Bars ever since the first wee days of Massenomics. We've been rocking the original Texas Power Bar. We've been rocking the 29 millimeter Texas Power Bar, the Texas Squat Bar, the Texas Deadlift Bar, all of them in a variety of coatings and finishes, all that good stuff. We love these things. It's also my go-to bar of choice in my own home gym. If you'd like to get a Texas Power Bar of your own, head on over to texaspowerbars.com. Make sure to check out all the options I have there, including the blemished bar section if you're looking to save a little money. And tell them Massenomics sent you. Thank you, Texas Power Bars.
We had a little mail call this week, Tommy.
What?
Mail call. You know what that means.
Now
it's
I'm
mail
ready.
call time.
Yep. When Disturbed hits, it's time to get the mail.
When it comes, I want a whale mail. Mail call. We got a Christmas card this week from the Sesneys. It says, we wish you a Merry Liftmas and a happy crew year. From Big Matt and Big Jess says, and they're both rocking the matching lift shorts. And Matt is, of course, holding his classic drink spotter with a white monster inside of it.
Oh, that's good. I've been informed that mine is en route. It is in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be able to enjoy the feeling of having one of those in my hands as well.
I'll put this next to Big Bryce's, the perfect little sweetie on the Christmas card display holder we've got in the house. Or it could go in the gym. Have to decide. Actually, tough call. So thank you for the letter from the Sesneys. It really is a Merry Lift Miss, isn't it?
It certainly is.
All right. What do we want to start on here, Tommy? We got all kinds. We got so many things to. We got so many topics here.
There is a lot. Oh.
Anything that's really
okay.
really
Before I forget, I have had, after Crew Falls, Big Jen left 2 tubs of cottage cheese. I am happy to report that might be the best cottage cheese I've had so far. Now I'm relatively early in my cottage cheese journey compared to you, Tanner, but I would say that this feels the most like eating just cheese crumbles out of any cottage cheese I've had, which I like cheese a lot, so that's a desirable flavor and texture for me. So I rank these quite high. They were very good.
So what, do you remember the brand then? Or
Oh, it was all
Big Jen will have to remind us. If,
it was something farm.
Iowa Special, Iowa
I think it
Farms.
said the Caitlin Clark special on it. No, I don't know. Some regional farm or something. in
Anderson
Iowa.
Erickson.
That might be it. Maybe I can tell you if I got to look up the package here, and I'll know right away. Yes, Anderson Erickson. Yep, old-fashioned cottage cheese.
It's Ryan from Iowa's company. It sounds like.
Of course. How could we forget?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4% was better than the low-fat one, but still,
No surprise there, of course.
both were damn good.
Yeah. So have you polished them off?
I have like one serving of the lower fat one left.
Well, they looked like single serving sizes to me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still, relative. I got to build up that cottage cheese level. I'm not at your level yet here.
Does anyone else in your house eat cottage cheese?
My daughter has started to take an interest in it because she actually wants to eat anything she sees me eating.
Yeah.
Cottage cheese and rice have both become big things that she's on board with. My son, not so much.
Yeah. The beauty of cottage cheese being in single serving containers is you don't have to take it out and dirty a plate. You can just eat right out of the tub.
Yeah, it comes with its own built-in bowl.
Yes, it is built into its own. Just like a yogurt. When you grab a yogurt, you pull the top off. You don't need to. You don't pull the. This is how you eat cottage cheese. You eat it right out of the tub. It's like when you eat a little yogurt. Do you open the yogurt and then dump it out onto a plate?
No.
Why would you?
Why would you dirty up all that stuff?
You're just gonna also lose more yogurt then too, because then some's gonna be stuck to the container, some's gonna be stuck to your plate,
and when
you're
it's
just
already
doubling the waste.
When it's already a single serving container, you can't afford to lose any. Yeah,
right.
That's
kind of my theory on the cottage cheese.
I've been doing it all wrong. I'm just so used to
the
Costco where you get the giant tubs where it's definitely not a single serving. So I gotta adjust my ways here.
Yeah, the 1 pint single serving.
just a cool 16 ounces.
Yeah. The certified gym.
Oh,
the Massenomics certified training facility packages. Those came out 2 days ago. Those are all gone. They're all out in the mail. They're all on their way to their forever training facility homes. And those just blew it the frig up. We had no idea that those were going to be as popular as they were.
It's not too often we get surprised by a product anymore. We usually we always talk beforehand. We have a rough ballpark number in mind of what we think it might do. And we talked last episode about the certified gym package, so we won't go into every detail on that again. But man, we thought, if this goes pretty good, I don't know, will we sell 25 or so? That was kind of the number in our mind. Because we just thought, how many people really want to get the certified banner and have their name on the website? It can't be that many. Yeah, they sold out in 2 hours. It was insane.
Yeah. Yes.
We
have ordered more. We do have a restock coming on everything, so hopefully that's as soon as possible. I guess as soon as possible.
We were in disbelief. We just it's cool. We thought it was cool and everything, but we just didn't think that many people actually wanted it that bad.
The sweet part is now the map. So do you know what the URL for the map
if you go to
is?
massenomics.com/certified.
Certified. Or if you're on the site, you go to the company tab and you'll see the certified training centers or whatever, the certified tab, and you go to that. And the map looks just incredibly full at this point of all of North America, and other cool things like getting YouTube videos and pictures and stuff added for gyms that have it. It's just starting to look really cool.
Yeah, because you can click on any of the pins. A lot of the people, if you have a YouTube video, we put your YouTube video on the pin, so when the window pops up, you can see more about it. If you don't have a YouTube video, Tanner's been adding photos to a lot of them so people can see what your gym looks like. And
so if you're a certified training center and you haven't done so already, send me a picture and I'll get that on there. It does make it look quite a bit cooler actually when there's a picture to go along with it.
It does. Okay, you know what are some of my takeaways from looking at the map? So the first one is people live up in that place in Canada. What is that called?
I can't remember what
I don't even know.
Big Max.
Dude,
he lives with the Santa Claus.
The fact that people, and I'm saying this as a guy that lives in South Dakota, but the fact that people live up there is crazy.
He described how it is getting in and out of there, and there's multiple, I think, plane. It's an endeavor to even get there.
This is farther north than parts of Greenland. It's way up there. I mean, it's actually like an island of Canada. It's not actually connected to Canada anywhere.
It is insanely. I have to believe it's insanely remote. Like outside of, like if you get out of the town.
It's actually looking at the map, assuming this.
Oh, Big Cam knows, a fellow Canadian. He says it's Iqaluit.
Okay.
Iqaluit.
But even looking at the map, this is north of Anchorage, Alaska. It's past that even. You know, you're getting a ways into Alaska if that's actually the way that those lines come across there. So that one is crazy to me. And then then we have Big Kim Barbell Rescue in Anchorage, or right outside of Anchorage. So that was cool to see up there. But what's really interesting looking through the map is just when you look at the dots, how many of them really do fall along the statistics of most people live along an interstate, you know? It's most people live near a major city, and if they don't live near a major city, they at least live really close to an interstate. And the few that stick out to me are like Aberdeen, obviously, not really close to an interstate, not really close to a major city. And then this one in Nebraska, the west side of Nebraska, who do we have? Big Sean. He is kind of out there too. That's not really near anything.
Right.
But other than that,
is there any other ones that you noticed like that? I can't really remember.
I mean, as far as just like remote locations go, not really, because everyone else is, like I said, pretty near a major city, or at least, you know, just off the interstate. Like it's right there. Right. So, yeah, it is really cool though, just to see the whole map pop in. When this next batch of those things show up, hopefully it's not too far away. I'm really curious to see how many more map pins we get in there, and also what the international contingency might start to look like.
Yeah, we've got several Canadian ones in there, of course, but it'd be fun if we get maybe a couple European or Australian. We know there could be crew members from either of those locations, definitely, that could help fill it out, and that would be pretty sweet to see on there.
We also learned that in Canada, your postal zip code gives people the street and what side of the street you live on. So the zip code really narrows it down, or the postal code, I should say.
Look at them being smarty pants, like having the postcode actually mean something rather than just a series of numbers. Most people probably know this, but the zip codes in the U.S. kind of go from east to west. Mm-hmm. You know, I assume most people know that, but maybe some people don't. You know, if it starts with a 0, you're probably in the Northeast generally. If it starts with a 9, you're probably in, California.
Yep.
Maybe everyone knows that. I don't know.
I don't know if people do, though. I feel like I didn't know that until probably the last few years of my life or so. Until we got more involved in a business that requires a lot of shipping of products.
It's where we do maps of.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but I don't think a lot of people write letters nowadays. So there's probably not a lot of zip codes going into.
Right. The map is awesome though, and I just love it. I've looked at the map so many times. You know, I'm always updating things and stuff, and every time I go in there to update, I find myself just like zooming in and out on the map and just like click. I'll just go click on a random one and be like, oh yeah, who's this here?
Another thing about that is you just figure out, it's like kind of like putting on the X-ray goggles and figuring out where everyone lives, because or just what parts of the country you're in, because you see these pockets
parts of the country.
SoCal is a little hot spot between San Diego and Los Angeles. Like there is a bunch of people down in that region, and then you start to get to Ohio. If you're in the Ohio area, you're not too far from a lot of people. Or Kentucky, even Indiana, that whole area. There's a lot of crew members out there too. So it's just cool to see where everyone's at.
Everyone in there, we had to mark if they're open to having crew or visitors pop by at the gym, so you can kind of see that too. So particularly our supporting members, if they're happen to be traveling, it might give them an idea of looking someone up.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Pretty excited about that.
So
we just don't even know what we've stumbled onto.
If this has got your attention, you don't have to be a crew member. You can get in. Anyone can get in on this as long as you have the funds to afford it. But you go to Massenomics, or you just actually go to the store. Go to the store. You would buy the Certified Training Facility Package. They are not in stock right now. They are on the way. So make sure you sign up for the back in stock notifications, because we were looking. There's already quite a few people signed up, so those could go fast again the second time here.
Right. You don't want to miss out on the second.
The second time that'd be a big mistake.
Like, no, I missed it again. What? Which is possible, I guess, after the way the first one went. You never know on the second one either, too. I hope so, because it's the map, like, once it's doubly full, it's even going to look even cooler to me.
Yes, it is.
Certified training facilities. It kind of works out for us too, as we're working on more trips across the U.S. here, doing gym tours and that sort of thing. Now it actually helps us pinpoint where be like, hey, we got to make sure we know generally where some of these people live, and it might come to us. But when we have a map that we can just click on and be like, hey, we're thinking about going to
much easier.
Yeah, it's way easier.
So we'll say this: you being a certified crew member or a certified training facility greatly increases your chances of Massenomics potentially doing a gym tour at your place someday.
That's true. It definitely does.
Do we? I should ask. Gluck is here. Should I let him in right now?
I think
we don't have to start the interview, but just to let him in.
Oh yeah, I think let him in,
okay.
but don't give him any permission. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Since he is crew, I guess he does have the right to.
One of the common people and just take it all.
Yeah.
You did mention about a trip there, Tanner. Should we?
Yeah, we should maybe
have another important announcement.
Yeah, this just in.
That's right.
You know what that means? We have a trip to announce. When you hear the sound of Disturbed, that means we have a new Massenomics trip to announce.
Yep,
so tell me where we headed.
We are headed to sunny Southern California in January.
It actually makes sense when you say sunny that time. Usually we say places and it's like, well, that's not sunny.
Yeah, we say places like Ohio or something like that. But this time we are actually going to Southern California. And do we want to say? We can say all the places we're going as of right now, can't we?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
so we're doing
crazy not to probably
like typical Massenomics fashion. We are absolutely maximizing our 2.5, 3 days. But on the list right now, we are going to be doing some stuff with Chad Wesley Smith, probably Marissa Inda, I would guess too.
I think so.
Efren, going to see.
Big Efren.
An exquisite gym collection down there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then going to swing by the Strength Co. and our good buddy Darko as well.
Yep.
And then we have a couple other X Factor variable things that we're still seeing how they work into the schedule.
Yep.
I'm sure we have a handful of things. I'm sure we'll get at least 2 more additional things outside of what I just said, but that is the initial plan.
Yeah. We're kind of... That's between now and then. We're just buttoning up the final details of everything that we're recording, but hopefully we walk out of there with at least 10 YouTube videos and some memories that we'll never forget.
I don't know if people get this, but when we said we're taking YouTube seriously, we're taking this seriously here.
So seriously that it's like, wait, we said we're taking this seriously. We better get something planned here.
That's kind of what it was. Is we're like, well, we did say we're going to do this. Like, if we're going to do it, we got to do it.
If we're going to do it, we got to get it done before the Arnold.
Yeah, we can't say we're going to do it. Yeah, wait till the Arnold.
A year later.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like April, May, and it's 7 months have gone by and we haven't done it. So here we go.
I'm hoping California, Southern Coastal California is nice in January compared to South Dakota.
It's a roll of the dice. It might be the same as it is here. It's like it's going to be just like when we go to Ohio. You don't really know. It's just the Midwest still.
So what do we got to do? Do you got to get on the plane with big coats and then stuff them away for the whole rest of the trip?
Obviously, we're not going to get on the plane with big coats. That's not going to be. But
not babysitting any coats.
Like a sweatshirt, probably. I suppose.
So you just bear the cold when you're getting at in the airport in South Dakota, and then you're like, okay, no, this is gonna tide me over until I get to warmer weather.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's like a vacation where we work endless days where we endlessly work the entire time we're gone.
Yeah,
like all waking hours.
We're on a very strict schedule with just tons of times that we have to be on things and can't break it.
There's like at least like a mild level of anxiety the entire time, even when we're hanging out with our friends.
Exactly.
Because I'm already thinking about the next thing we have to be doing. I'm already planning like the next 3 things in my head. Like, all right, we better wrap up this fun so we can go to our next session.
Oh, you think we're here to have fun? No, and be in the moment? No, we're 4 steps ahead. We're already looking down the road at the next thing.
Yeah, that is sort of the way it goes to an extent, though.
Yeah, it is. Because it has to be.
I'm looking forward to it, though. It should be a lot of fun.
I think we're going to get a lot of really cool content out of it.
Yeah.
Plus,
YouTube has been going great.
We get to see some of our friends.
Anytime
that's true too. Friends, that's always a huge
bunch
bonus.
of crew members. Actually, pretty much everyone we're seeing is either a crew member or a podcast sponsor, or really actually fits into one of those 2 categories. Honestly.
Yep.
Should be cool beans. Cool beans. I've got a couple topics here, but they're actually a little equipment. Oh, yes. Actually, let's do that. And I was thinking, like, any of these topics that are equipment related, we should just wait till we have Gluck on even and just we can talk
go over him there. Okay.
We can talk equipment with him anyways. Yeah, I am thirsty. This is true what's in the can segment. We got a care package here a couple weeks ago from Ghost. And I don't mean Casper. I mean this Ghost. And it was actually from Big Houston Miller, more specifically. He works there at Ghost, and he's a listener to the podcast. He's a Massenomics enjoyer. And he just said, lift hard, live easy, brothers, enjoy. Happy holidays from the Ghost team. And specifically what we're trying out here today is the Ghost hydration drink. And it does say right in big bold letters on the front, 0 caffeine.
See, I can tell you, I know I've seen these things before in like grocery stores, gas stations. I haven't even given them a second look because I just assume this stuff is just packed,
caffeinated,
just loaded to the max with caffeine.
That's probably why they advertise, that they do put this.
Yeah, they got to get it out
front
there.
And center, so they do. So what flavor are you rocking over there?
I have the kiwi strawberry.
Okay, I've got the lemon lime.
Oh, I don't think I got that one.
Oh, okay. I do it. My other one is kiwi strawberry, I think, but I didn't grab that one.
Okay.
We also got a few of their caffeinated energy drinks too. I had one of those in Crew Falls.
I will tell you. Oh yes, we did. Yeah, the orange sherbet. Was that orange?
Yeah, orange cream or something like that. Yeah.
I would tell you this. On a psychological level, this packaging, when my boy sees this, it's just like he's staring at a $100 bill. Like he just
Something
colors
he has to have
the colors, and I think the Ghost on it.
I want it.
It's just it on a primal level just grabs his attention, and when he saw these, he couldn't give up on what was going on until we finally were like, nope, these have to get put away. You can't have these.
Yeah, you can't. The other thing, I kind of on a similar vein that I would say is we got this Ghost stuff. We get stuff in the mail for Massenomics all the time. Like literally every day, something for Massenomics is coming in the mail, at least like every other day, whether it's, inventory we're ordering or just boxes and shipping materials are always coming, that sort of thing. Stuff from cool companies, we get cool stuff sent all the time. This is the first time, or at least first time in a long time, or at least the most so I can ever remember, that Jack, when he saw this box from Ghost, he was like, oh my God, what did you get from Ghost?
Oh, he was psyched on it too.
He's like, holy, you got stuff from Ghost? And I was like, oh yeah, are you familiar? And he's like, yeah.
Really?
So it must be a big deal.
So even
if
at
you're
like
13.
middle school, high school, like they're in okay.
Yeah. So I just thought that was noteworthy that, and like he's had these before.
Oh, okay.
So your flavor was what?
Kiwi strawberry.
Kiwi strawberry.
This is good,
and
though.
what do you think?
This is actually good. I never know with some of these things if it's like got some weird flavor, but I do like this one.
Lemon lime is good. Yeah, it is good. These have 10 calories in it, no caffeine, no protein. It has a tiny bit of sodium.
Oh,
a couple carbs.
The fine print says shake well before drinking. Did you remember to shake yours well?
No.
It might be all the flavor might be sitting on the bottom.
But then I guess it's got vitamins in it, like vitamin C, B12, potassium, B6, magnesium, all that stuff I need.
That I'm deficient in.
Keep me going on a big podcast night. It does taste good, though.
Yeah, it is. So thank you, the team at Ghost, for sending those.
Yeah. I think Max Tuning started Ghost.
Did he, though?
Is that right?
I don't know. I feel like...
Is someone telling me that?
I thought someone else did, and I just feel like he piggybacked off of whoever their art director was.
So he was
for his sour strips.
Oh, okay.
But I could be totally wrong there. It always did seem
No,
like
I actually don't know that. I thought someone when we were in Crew Falls mentioned, or, we were discussing it or something. And
because he did sour strips.
Yeah.
Ryan
Hughes.
Yeah, I don't actually know their origin story.
No. I don't think we have to know it.
But their structure within the state government would be very helpful.
I want to know if this is, I assume, Ghost has to be an corporation, right?
I don't know. I mean, that would be the obvious answer, but maybe there's something more to this.
Maybe they're an LLC.
Could be. Maybe they're not anything. Maybe it's just actually.
Maybe they're
just
a partnership. Maybe it's just two guys and they're a partnership.
Maybe they're a 501c3 and they're actually a nonprofit. They just do this so people stay, kicking.
Their mission is to make sure everyone stays hydrated. Yeah.
And caffeinated.
How about a little supporting our supporting members from this week?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, we had quite a few people competing this week. I'm going to catch as many as I think I can catch, but
I feel like it was like the
Competition Central out here.
Yeah,
right?
Massenomics Invitational that we weren't invited to. Everyone was competing.
Yeah, so this is a relatively new segment where we give back to those that support us. You too can become a supporting member. We'd love it if you do. There's almost nothing that I love more. I saw a couple new supporting members come in. I think it was just today we had a couple new ones. I love seeing that. You too can do it by going to massenomics.com/join. I was actually going to go into the list and make sure we had all the perks in there when you go to massenomics.com/join, that it really lists all the perks that exist. I think it does do a pretty decent job.
Well, there's a sign that says "Welcome to
get.
Perk City." And I think people
Population
people just get what that means.
Yeah. So one of those perks, amongst many others, is we may read your accomplishments out on the podcast, like this. Big Quinn Cunningham competed in a powerlifting meet. He was at the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic this summer.
Yeah, that was his first one this summer, I think.
Yeah, I think so. He followed it up here this last weekend with PRs in the bench, PRs in the squat, and a total PR of 1,030. So well done, Big Quinn.
He's got momentum.
He does. He can't be stopped now. Big Simon was also there competing with him. Looked like he podiumed. Not sure of his numbers, but he was there competing. Big Hannah won Kentucky's Strongest, and she qualified for nationals. And most importantly, she won an axe. That is Sword Award adjacent, at the very least, as an axe. A battle axe.
All about.
Is a battle axe a sword award? A battle axe is a sword award, right?
I mean, kind of in a way.
It's a weapon. It's weaponry.
A weapon.
We've kind of really been weaponry is what weapons are what's most important. Okay. Big Mostly Matt was competing in strongman. It was Brutal Winter with Big Hunter was also there competing.
One note on that is someone said, "Oh, the weather was brutal," and they go, "I'm not sure how brutal that weather was when people had T-shirts on when you were outside." I did like the comment that was made there. That was funny.
They don't know what Brutal Winter is up there. Big Hunter was also there competing. I saw he got a 270-pound Atlas Stone PR.
Nice.
Big Brad, the Pad, did an unsanctioned charity meet. He did a 937.5-pound total. Good job, Brad Pad.
Good stuff.
Brad Pad. Then Big Keith, the Orange Glaze, competed in a strongman competition, did well there. It looked like he hit a 115-pound circus dumbbell PR.
Wait, and was the PR 115 pounds over his previous one, or?
I think it was 115. I assume it was with Keith, it was a 1, 2, or 3 pound PR.
I think it was 2 for some reason. I feel like that number stuck out.
Okay.
I feel like that, or he said that in the Crew Falls vlog video that it was a 2-pound PR he had there. It was
that wasn't there. Yeah. And then Big Buttons graduated with his MBA. So congratulations to Big Buttons.
Look out, world.
Yes.
Do you
Big
think
Buttons is on the prowl?
Do you think they read the Dr. Seuss, all the places you'll go when he graduated?
I like to assume that they did. That's what they did when I graduated. They're like, oh, the places you'll go. You'll go back to work to your same job you already have. Just like mostly everyone.
Will go to work.
You know that place you don't really like going to
the
every day from now until the end of time?
Work.
You're going back there. But now you have an extra piece of paper to take with you.
And that is what it's all about.
And that has made all the difference. Maybe we should read an ad or two, or at least I'll read one while
why don't you read one? I'll
boot.
start kicking them here.
I've been sick of these live listeners. Get rid of them. Let's talk about the Strength Co., because we're going to talk about a little equipment here with our guest, I think. So why not kick off the precursor to it with a little more equipment talk talking the Strength Co plates, the best made in America, 2-inch Olympic iron plates that exist. They're black, E-coated. They're smooth, easy to grip. They literally are the go-to plates of Massenomics Gym. You walk into Massenomics Gym, there's some other plates around, but everyone is immediately drawn to the Strength Co plates. And that's for a reason. They're durable. They last. They're the best that there is. They're the
made
best
in the USA.
They're made in the USA. Veteran-founded company. Check it out at thestrength.co or give them a call at 949-326-7652, The Strength Co.
Okay, should we let our guest in here?
Let's do it. Ha!
Tommy and Tanner.
There he is.
Well.
What is going on?
Tanner, I was just thinking.
Yeah, what?
They really do let anyone in here, don't they?
Any old sons of guns.
I have a bone to pick with you guys.
Uh-oh.
We've got a couple bones over here.
Last time I was on here, and I think this is a direct quote, you said after your podcast, I get a phone call from Joe Rogan, and I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, it must have got lost in the mail.
Yeah, well, and we also didn't put a timestamp on when that would happen. So technically,
That's true.
technically
Maybe it's after this one?
It's still coming. Yeah, I mean, after one of these, like we don't guarantee which one.
Is that shirt wine colored?
This is your shirt that you sent me, and it's too small because my chest is just massive.
Yeah. How does it fit?
It's a little small.
Yeah. Yeah, we're out of his size, so
it's got to be tough to just keep making the same shirt in a different color.
You'd be surprised.
We have talked about it. We're already thinking of the next color. So
listen, I'm all for it. My entire wardrobe is Massenomics.
It's that shirt in various colors.
Yeah, and it's great every time. I freaked out. My wife likes it's the same color, and I still wanted it.
Yes. And we figured, but rather you don't want to size up. Like if we don't have the right size, you don't want too big. If the alternative's got to be too small.
I guess it's not working right now, but I'm still wearing it. So what can I say?
All right. So if you haven't guessed it by now, we're joined for the second time, 2-time champion now. Big Gluck is coming on the Massenomics podcast. How long ago was the first one? What is it?
I looked today. It was like over 2 years ago.
Really?
I remember
2 years. That's shocking every time. It feels like it was just yesterday.
It does. Well, we've seen each other a few times in between.
Actually,
so
that actually does probably change my perception of it. I do forget we do tend to cross paths every so often.
Yeah. I get to fangirl, so it's fun every time.
Oh, it's us fangirling you, I'm afraid.
I don't know about that.
It was really fun. So I guess most recently we were at home Gym Con together, and you guys were making a bunch of content, and we were making a bunch of content, and it was really fun to me at times, like when we were both making, shooting video at the same time, and our paths would be crossing, as we're both shooting videos.
It's like that awkward moment, like who stops filming, or do we just keep doing it?
Yeah, yeah. Which is just kind of fun. Isn't that kind of funny though?
Yeah. That was a lot of work, though. You guys saw us there. We filmed like 10 plus hours every day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do that again.
That's one thing. We're no YouTube experts. You've been at this longer than we have. You've been pumping out a lot of videos.
That doesn't make me any good at it.
Well, you have more experience in it in taking it seriously than what we have. We've just more recently started taking it seriously, but. As a guy that shoots and edits the stuff, the one thing I realize is I've gotten way more selective in the amount of content I'll shoot because, there's nothing more intimidating than sitting down and being like, I'm going to make like a 20-minute video and I have 8 hours of footage. Like that's hard. That's a hole you're putting yourself in.
It's a lot of work. People don't realize it.
Yeah. So you were at Home Gym Con. Home Gym Con 2024. We all had fun, of course. Are you going back in 2025? Yes, no, or too early to tell?
I think we are. See, the thing people don't realize is we travel as an entire family. So it's me and my boys and my wife. And then we have to bring somebody to watch the babies. But I think we're signed up to do it all over again.
Run it back.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
For people flying in like you, it will be easier. I just have to assume going to Louisville, though, this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I didn't enjoy that beautiful ride into the middle of nowhere, but it should be a little bit easier.
Yeah. And then were you at the Arnold this year too, or was that 2 years ago that you were
That
at
was
the
a
Arnold?
few years ago, I
Okay.
think, because you were in our video there.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So now that you have home gym con, do you have really any interest in going to the Arnold anymore? Or is that kind of like, no, home gym con is that trip now?
It would be like it's a personal interest, but it's just so
Yeah.
hard to travel right now. I mean, you have like what, 35 kids currently?
Between the two of us, if we brought all full families on a trip like this, we would need so many hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, well, how do you do that though? Like at home gym con, where were your kids?
So we get an Airbnb, we get a house, and then we take like our grandmother or something to
Oh,
watch
okay. You
them.
bring someone else. Okay, yeah.
Nah, we just lock them in the cabin.
Well, that's why I'm like,
Lots of
what?
kids.
What are you just
Locked
getting
in
like
there, what could
a?
happen?
Throw a bag of bread down and an iPad.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Good luck, kids.
Yeah.
Don't touch the plugs.
Yeah, so you really have to bring a crew then to make that work.
Yeah, we're debating getting a backup for the grandmother, so we'll see, but that's how it works.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah.
But like you said, like that's what goes on behind the scenes in order to make it happen.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's fun that way, Winnie wants to get home to see the kids, and I want to film every possible thing. So there's a nice dynamic of me eventually giving up and her winning.
Yeah, it's a nice push-pull, mostly like pushing and getting pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had a lot going on in the last 2 years, of course, YouTube, everything else that you're doing. More recently, you've had your big home gym renovations.
Yes.
So what's the update? What's the news? What's been going on there?
So if you saw the renovation video, everything went super smooth. We started in March. It was supposed to be done in like 6 weeks, and it's not done yet.
So today it's not done.
No, what's funny? I have a couple stories about today, but I just went in there before for no reason, not to get some product placement. Have you guys seen
hello.
products over here?
What are you drinking out of there, too?
I got some Zevia, so I don't have your
Yeah.
seltzer choices. You guys are kind of fancy.
What is Zevia then?
I've
Is that
never
just
heard of
that's
that.
just like that's my mother-in-law I've seen has been drinking those too.
What?
It's just like an artificial sweetener pop,
Yeah,
right?
it's just
basically.
stevia, I think.
Oh,
Yeah. It's the best I can do. I'm sorry, I'm not as cultured.
Wow.
I
You're
give it
getting there.
4 cans, but it's
So what flavor is like the one you're drinking there now?
cream soda.
Oh,
Okay.
that's usually a.
What does it pretty much taste like a pop to you then?
Yeah, if you don't drink soda, it probably tastes like soda.
Right, to me, yeah. Like if I
Yeah.
did, I'd be like,
You're not
yeah, this
used to
is
the
like
good
a
stuff.
right.
Yeah. I think if you drank real soda, you'd be like, what the hell is this crap I'm drinking?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, but great, excellent product placement though. Yes, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So anyway, the gym's still going. I'm working on putting some thresholds in. I actually, right after we sheetrocked it and painted it, I put a hole in the sheetrock, moving gym equipment. So I'm still fixing some things. And on my way to get my product placement, there was a mouse in there, and I was on the Zoom call. And thankfully you guys had me muted because it was me screaming at the top of my lungs chasing this mouse around, and I gave up. It's inside my Adonis right now, and I can't get to it. So
Nice.
it's his gym or her gym. I don't know.
Yeah, they own it now. They're
They
the
own it.
captain
I'm
now.
gonna burn it down. We're gonna start from scratch.
So if people haven't seen the video, can you give them the cliff notes on why did this 6-week project
Take 9 months
plus.
now, possibly.
Well, obviously none of it's my fault. It's some of it's because we're still like it's pretty much done. It's just finishing touches like I need to do. But it was like our house is built on rock. Apparently we just live on all of the rock in the United States lives underneath us. So it took a long time to physically chisel it out. They brought an excavator with like a chisel in that took forever, and just like problem after problem. Like people would quit. My contractor, who's like a family friend, he said you need to close the gym because what would happen is people would come give us a quote, and then they'd see the gym equipment and think we were really wealthy. And we're not. This is just what I do for
It's
a
your job.
living.
Yeah,
My
like,
gym is
what-
actually bigger than my house right now, which
Right.
is not an accomplishment. So it's just like the sheetrocker came, and then they hung the sheetrock, and they went home and wanted 3 times the money. And the
Oh.
same thing happened with the ciders, and it's just happened again and again. So it is what it is.
paying
So
that,
have you gone
paying that
through
big
multiple-
baller tax?
Yeah. So have you
Yeah.
gone through multiple contractors then, like where you went?
No,
with one
the
and then you, like, switched
contractors
into
are
another
buddies.
One, or? Okay.
So he's all right. He's one of my best friend's dad. So he's been great, which is the only reason we could afford this project. We had quotes for like 6 figures to get this edition put on, and like we couldn't afford that. So this guy kind of came in and like cut everybody like way below half. So that's also why it's kind of slow, because it's just a side project for him. You know, he's not making any money. It's just he comes over when he's got free time and works on it. But yeah, it's like an 1,100 square foot space now. The front you can see, and there's 180 square feet of storage behind like a back wall that's hidden. Because if you guys have watched my content, I may or may not collect an excessive amount of equipment, and I need to hide that from people
Yeah, yeah.
off camera.
So how big was it before? What was the footprint before you added on?
It was probably like in the mid sixes or 700, probably mid sixes. It was a 3-car garage.
Yeah.
But it was just like when we first moved in, it was just an empty space. There was no insulation, no interior walls, no electrical, no anything. So over the years, we've kind of built it up.
So now that it's almost done, like, is there anything about it that you're like, oh, if I started over, I would be doing this differently already?
I'd make
Like,
it bigger.
Yeah, that's what I wondered. Like, would you already make it bigger? That's what I'm curious. Yeah.
So when we were doing it, my wife gave me free reign to make it as big as I wanted. So I originally had it bigger, and I was like, it's going to dwarf the house. Like, our house is 1,400 square feet. It's not a big house. And I was like, I dialed it back a few feet. And then when I put the racks and stuff up, and I was like, shit, I really wish I went put those extra feet back on. But
Yeah.
it's a really nice space. I can't complain.
So does it make your filming, your YouTube life easier having that much space then to work with?
Yes. So I probably have some pictures, or you could probably see them in the video if you watch it. But we went back and looked at some pictures, and what we would do is, if you could imagine if your kids just had free reign and they threw shit everywhere, that's what my
You mean
gym
my-
looked like.
Oh, okay. So my
You mean
house.
every
yeah.
day of
Your
my
house,
life?
yeah.
Yeah. It's like I can
But-
imagine that so well that like I can't stop imagining it.
Yeah, except I'm the kid and there's no place to put it.
Yeah.
So we would like make a corner, like no joke, if you moved the camera like 3 inches, you'd just
Yeah.
see stuff everywhere. And we'd clean the corner and we'd wipe the floors down and clean the floors and stuff. And I'd film in that corner. And then for B-rolls, we'd have to really be strategic and move stuff on one side of the gym so you could film one way. And then we'd flip the stuff to the other side so we could film from the other direction. So every shot didn't look exactly the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of fun.
it was all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, it's all fake. Everything I do. So it's better now. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I save hours a week not moving stuff.
Right. It's just that much more efficient not having to worry about some of those little headaches then. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's a
makes
little
sense.
bit more enjoyable. It's still
Right.
a tough job, but it's more enjoyable.
So what talking about the YouTube side of it, what like how far out do you usually have content? I mean, I don't know that shot, but like what's your content plan right now? Like how many specific items on your list that are going to be like the next videos?
So if you want a list of how many videos are ready, are you ready?
Yeah.
0. There's
Yeah,
0
that's-
videos currently finished.
Right. But do I totally get that. Like that is like if you get to the point where you have a bunch of videos already finished and they're just waiting to go, that would be awesome. But that's not the world that most people live in. I don't think.
it doesn't.
But you
work.
probably have a list of like your next so many ideas that you're pretty positive are going to be the next videos, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas of things I want to do. It just depends how hard it is to pull off. So the reality of it is like, we'll say like the Bulletproof Fitness VTS. That's the Smith machine that goes on your uprights. The thing is super sick, and I wanted to drop the video, but they keep evolving or tweaking their parts. So like it's this game of like, do I do a video of what I have, or do I wait like 3 weeks, to get like the new part? So the video's like timeless, because if I critiques this thing in this video and then 3 weeks later they change it, I just wasted 80 hours, of my life or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's a weird balancing act of like, I have tons of ideas. It's just when can you pull them off? But I have nothing currently ready, and like 30 ideas in my head I'm currently working on, if that makes any sense.
No, that definitely does.
I'm not going to give you them because you guys are my rivals now, because your YouTube channel.
Well, are any
Yeah.
of the ideas
I
a whole
hate
bunch
you.
of a whole bunch of gym tours?
There are
Yeah.
a couple gym tours. You stole that idea from me. I'm the
Yeah.
first person to do gym tours.
That's true. Credit where credit is due. We did because we have our Massenomics certified training facilities, and our map that just went up, and I was putting in embedding YouTube videos for anyone that had one. And whose did I do? One of them was for sure one of your. Oh, it was Big Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must have been Keith.
Yeah.
So I embedded the gym tour of you with Keith in the No Wine Cellar.
Yeah, that was a good time. We drove like 6 hours to go see that space. That's a nice space.
Yeah. So that's
done a
about
lot with
a 6-hour drive from you.
I think so.
What
Yeah,
about
if you guys want to come up here, we can do some tours.
it is on our list where we've actually plotted out, triangulated some things. Because how far is Brandon from you?
He's like an hour.
Right.
He's real close. He lives in Rhode Island. It's the size of like Tanner's shoe. It's
Oh,
tiny.
we looked at smaller than the county of Aberdeen. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's the strongest guy in Rhode Island. It's like
That was his plan all along. Go to the place where there's nobody. Yeah. They probably have a bigger population than South Dakota. Who am I kidding?
They probably do.
Okay. So now equipment. Tommy and I had a few threads to go on there. Here's one for 2024 since we're wrapping it up. What equipment company had the most impressive 2024? Who are you most like, okay, yeah, they crushed it this year?
I don't know. I saw a lot of, I don't want to say rehash stuff, because like if I were to say my favorite product, it's Rogue's FM Twin Stack. That thing is just so well polished. It's a little over the top, sure. Like the Aries 2.0 is comparable, but that already existed. Like those, going from the Aries 1.0 to the 2.0, it's an upgrade, but it's similar. And it's the same idea with the Twin Stack. Like we've seen so many all-in-ones. So I'm not sure who I'd say or what I'd say is the big one. I get stuck in like tunnel vision where I have to keep reviewing like the next thing that's the current trend, and that's the current trend. But like I
Right.
liked the Repins, the Rep-X Pepin dumbbells. Those were really well done. Man, I should look back at my videos, which I would know like what was my favorite. But I think the FM Twin Stack was kind of like my favorite thing I did, even though it's been done how many times at this point.
But you did really feel like that product, though, that they did.
They did
take
well.
The
I
expectations up higher than what people.
Yeah,
were
I
thinking.
think it's one of those times where like, people would say it's too late, which is never too late. People are entering the home gym scene all the time.
Mhm.
But I think they
Right.
did a good job of looking and seeing what everybody else did and then put their like rogue twist on it.
That makes sense. What about coming into 2025? Either product or company that you're really excited to watch out for, what they've got cooking for 2025?
Let's see. That's tough. So I think our next big trend is maybe Smith machines. But it depends if you're into that. I know you just had your Smith machine adventure for $300 there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The $300 Smith machine that's heavy as a tank.
Tanner
It's
knew the
Yeah.
trend
heavy
was
as a
coming,
tank.
so he wanted to get out in front
Yeah, I
of it.
had to get out in front of this one.
Yeah. So
I
like,
don't know
Smith
that it's going to
machines
make a
are
great
big.
review of reviewing. That's the thing when
A
we
Life
find like
Fitness Smith machine.
yeah, like you too. Yes, I also recommend that you go buy a $300 used $6,000 Smith machine from wherever you can source that from.
Yeah, no, that's the beauty of the review game. Like if it's not pertinent, like a YouTube video, nobody's gonna watch it, and then is it worth your
Right.
time?
Mhm.
Right.
So Smiths are gonna be big. I have the VTS. That thing it's sick because you can do unilateral movements with it or strap the bar in. That's like a 2024 thing. I know Fringe is dropping their own thing. So I've gotten more appreciative of Smith machines and what they can do. But as to what I'm excited for, I think have you seen the Mayak Go? If you've seen like the Voltra, the Beyond Power Voltra,
Oh yeah.
it's like I'm not going to quote the exact number. Let's say it's like $3,000
Right.
Yeah.
per unit to put it on your rack. So like $6,000 to make a functional trainer, and
Right.
that's insane. My Rogue rack, people complain about the price with the functional trainer lap pull down low row costs less,
Than that.
and
Yeah.
that'll last forever. So the Maya Go is like a cheaper version of that, like less expensive. It's supposed to be functionally similar.
And what's it
I
called?
talked to it's called the Mayak Go, MAIAK. So it's like $1,000, I think. But our unit's coming in, and it's supposed to be just as capable. We'll see. Like I like to tinker with things and take them apart. I was an engineering teacher for like 17 years, so I think I have like a different basis than some people reviewing equipment.
Yeah.
I'd like to take it apart and see how it ticks. Yeah, it's not out, like they have some samples, but it's like anything else.
So do you know, is it kind of operating under the same sort of like principles as the Voltra or whatever that one is, or is it like
I
totally
have to
different
see
system?
I have to see mechanically how it does because there's a lot of differences there that you'll get bored if we go into it. So that's what I want to see. I want to take it apart and see because I've done like the Unitree pump and other units like that, and they just use motors or technologies that aren't going to hold up over time. So it'd be interesting after I talk to the lead engineer and designer. It sounds like it'll work well, but you never know until you get these things into your hand. But a small little unit that's the size of both your fists or a little bit bigger than that put together that has 220 pounds of resistance.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That can be battery operated or plugged in. Like the potential's there. I'm kind of anti-home gym tech, but I think that'll be a fun avenue to see if a company can finally win me over.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. This one is exciting for me because I see Brandon with the Voltras. I'm like, that looks so cool. It takes up no space.
Yeah,
it can supposedly do all this stuff, but the price, that is eye-watering.
I think we will get some Voltras in and probably put them, up against each other, but it's a hard sell, and that's what I'd have to say in a video. Like, this is great if somebody sends me it for free, but I'd never buy it. Like, that's what the review would be.
Especially the thing you were touching on of, is this a product that's perfect for 5 years? Does it start to fall apart on year 6? Does it completely bricked by year 7? What is the life cycle of those things?
Yeah, my kids are gonna have to move my heavy equipment out when I die. And they'll be perfectly fine. It'll still work for decades.
Mm-hmm. And that is the beauty of this stuff, is it is all, if you're buying quality stuff, it is good forever. So you got
That's
that.
why we don't really own it. We're just taking our turn.
Yeah, it's my kid's problem. You guys better start lifting. Good luck.
What I'm blanking on it. The thing that goes on the wall that has a big screen, vertical screen, and it's
like
not
a tonal.
Yeah, tonal. Yeah. So you've had a tonal before, I'm guessing, or have you reviewed tonal?
See, when I say I'm anti gym tech, I don't want to say it's a bad product, but that's not my thing. I get Pelotons and stuff. It motivates certain people, and that's fantastic. It's not like a bad product to me is something that's stupidly overpriced or that breaks, like you're wasting your money, or it's unsafe. And that's none of those things. I know tonals will wear down, and like their warranty and how they force you to use like their repair grant people, I think is a little much, but that's not my style of lifting. So like that's the kind of thing I don't review a lot of, because if my heart's not in it,
right, then it's kind of phony.
Yeah, and I put a stupid amount of effort into every video, so like I don't want to just do it for the sake of doing it.
That's why we have a lot of tonal content coming out in 2025.
I know you do. I know.
We recognize the gap in the market. Yeah.
If he's not going to do it, someone's got to.
What I did wonder about that though, like compared to the Voltras, is that similar at all? Like I've never used a tonal. Like is the resistance, like the way the resistance works on these things, would the tonal be similar to the Voltra, do you think, or is that different?
I mean, theoretically, so you can make some adjustment through software, but there is physical mechanisms behind it. So again, without taking it apart or trying all of them, and even when you're trying them all, you have to put them side by side. And it's the same thing with like a cable machine. Like if you tried Reps Aries, you'd be like, this is so smooth. This is great. And if you went over to Rogue's FM Twin, you'd say the same thing. Unless you could pull one right after the other, you wouldn't notice the difference. There is a difference. It's the same thing with that digital stuff. They can tweak it to some extent. The Voltra is supposed to be super smooth and receptive, but does it compare to a cable machine and gravity? I'm not so sure, but I'll find out when I go through them all.
This is me being like an old boomer or whatever it is, but there is not a substitute for weight to me. Like it's no matter what, there is just and I don't know, I guess it's just something about it. It's just the look, the feel, the sound, or the combination of all those things. Even if the science told me, no, you can actually get a better workout from this, I'd be like, nope, I don't think so. Not me. Like maybe somebody can, but I can't, because like I'm not saying it's like a toy, but it's like, that's not a right word, but it's almost like this feeling to me where I'm like, well, this isn't really working out. This doesn't satisfy what I can consider to be what I'm after here. When I'm doing something that's just like all 100% magnetic resistance.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like at this point, I'm not convinced. I'm very skeptical, which I'm skeptical of everything. So I guess that's why my channel does okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'm the same way. Like, and it might be because that's how we grew up, and that's one of those things that sometimes I have to step back and realize like I'm not everyone, you know. So what works for me doesn't work for a lot of other people, and that's one of the hardest things of reviewing is like stepping out of my own tunnel vision and seeing like,
Right.
does this work for somebody else? Because I had a guy come over and buy some equipment the other day, and he was talking about how his wife loves his tonal, and that's the only reason she works out. So if that works for her, that's freaking awesome. I don't care what you're using, but it's not really my thing.
Well, I'm skeptical to the point on that I'm like, I almost don't even believe that there, I mean, I know that there is, but in my head, I still almost don't believe there's anyone out there that actually got like strong from not weights and, you know, like that. Nope. I just use this magnetic resistance device. And like it did everything I needed.
That's the before and
that
after
like-
pictures. It's right there.
Yeah.
Is that like when you see the professional athletes and they're like, I filmed my gym with this equipment, and you're like, no, you didn't. That thing costs like $400. You got sent that for free. You would never touch that. You got
Right.
millions of dollars.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so you know, maybe you're aware, maybe you don't know that Tommy joined the ranks of the home gym community over the last year.
Yeah, that's another reason that you guys are my rivals.
Yeah. Now that we actually have a home gym,
Yeah, making videos
to-
like reasons
Yeah.
to have a home gym and reviewing gym equipment.
Yeah.
This is just my long play to get your address and then snuff you guys out.
We fell into the
We're gonna,
trap.
you're gonna queue up episode 456, and I'm gonna be the host.
yes.
The old switcheroo.
Tune in next week.
Yeah.
So Tom, what were we talking about your home gym then? We were gonna get Gluck's insight on.
So a couple things. Okay, first one. I guess I can ask this two ways. The first way would be, if you could only have one piece of cardio equipment for your home gym, what piece would you pick?
Easy curl bar.
Okay.
Easy
Outside
choice.
the box thinking. I like it.
Cardio. Have you watched any of my cardio reviews? It's
Well,
just like me 15 minutes making jokes about cardio.
That's what I know, because that's why I'm like, I don't actually know if there's a
man.
piece that you have like a strong feeling on in a positive way.
That's one of those things like, oh man, that's tough. I grew up and I ran a lot of track, so I'm used to running outside.
Mhm.
And I find like running on a treadmill mind numbing. I
Mhm.
find running outside, pretty terrible too. Don't get me wrong, it's not an enjoyable experience. Oh, geez, I don't know. Like I like my I have like a Bell's Blitz bike. My
Mhm.
mom actually has it right now.
Yeah.
She's getting a knee surgery, so I lent it to her. But
What
I
knee
like
surgery?
that for, I don't know. It's just her knee's getting replaced,
Oh, a full knee replacement. I got you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's not like
Uh,
not some weird guy that tore his ACL and
It's big. I'm just ultra curious in knee surgeries at this point. So
yeah. So like I liked that because you could use it for the cardio aspect, but I also would like warm up for deadlifts just using the handles because my gym didn't used to have heat, so it was like 30 degrees. I wanted to warm up. I don't know what I get. A stair stepper maybe. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
you're
I'm the
basically
wrong guy.
saying
I don't row
whatever
much.
whatever I would think would be the right answer then.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay. All right. I'm glad I have your permission there. Next thing.
Yeah, you just use my affiliate link and I don't care what you buy.
whatever you can hang the most amount of clothes off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever can
Cardio
hold the
equipment.
most stuff. Yeah. That's,
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's good. Okay. You definitely don't know like the entire inventory of my gym by any means, but if
Yes,
you
I
could,
do.
Okay. All right.
Don't
good.
assume nothing. Yeah.
If there, what is the one piece I'm missing to finally get strong in my home gym?
Oh, I really don't know the whole inventory of your gym.
Yeah.
Obviously strength co plates and a Texas power bar. That's how I get to go on the third time, right?
Yes,
Well,
that's
yeah,
a
that-
requirement.
And you
All
can
right,
never
check,
have too
check.
many of those things.
No, you cannot. You cannot have enough of those ever.
Yeah.
And you do have both of those.
Yep. I got. Yep. Both of
And
those
we-
in stock.
We talked about your bench. We talked about your dumbbells, your adjustable dumbbells.
Hmm.
So you've got the basics at this point, right?
I got the
Yes,
basics. yeah.
also has a selectorized lat pull down machine.
I saw that. He just
Yeah.
got that. I saw him doing face pull seated or something. the
Yeah,
other day. See,
yeah, got
I
that
stalk
too.
you guys.
So you're
Yeah.
in the loop.
I mean, my generic thing I always tell people is gymnastic rings, but I don't know if you'd use them. I just think they're fun because like when I hurt my shoulder, I couldn't dip on a straight bar, so I would use the rings because they turned with me, and the same with pull-ups.
I always thought
also
rings seemed really gimmicky until we went to Jujimufu's. And after
you
we
try
left there, I'm
them?
like, oh, actually,
Yeah.
rings are pretty cool.
I
Did you
I
get some
bought
for
a
yourself?
set
so
for
hard.
yeah, I bought a set for Massenomics Gym after being at Jujimufu's. I was like, nope, these actually I am now convinced there's a
humbling.
reason for these. Yeah.
And he uses them a
Yeah.
ton. Like he
Yeah.
has like calluses on his hands from using the ring so much.
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy, so not as big as me, but like
Yeah, I don't know
it's
what
gotta
is,
start
what does
somewhere,
that
right?
what does that guy know about lifting though, honestly.
exactly. Otherwise, like I would say like a combo reverse hyper GHD type of machine. I find that having one or the other takes up a lot of space. Having both of them together is not the best of both
Wait,
worlds.
is this an ad for that black and orange piece of equipment that you're always on the ads for?
I am on the ads for, but no.
What is that? What is the name? Go ahead, say the name of it. Yeah, freak
That's the
athlete.
freak athlete.
Yeah.
But I have that one, and I have Bell's reverse hammer, and that's the one I first kind of fell in love with. We were talking the other day. It's my oldest piece of equipment that I have in my gym outside of my dumbbell racks.
What's the bezel steel one called? The what?
It's called the reverse hammer. They're actually making a new one. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
I think that's a good.
updating.
I'm not
that's
even
a pretty
sure
good
if I know what this
suggestion.
product
Actually, one of
is.
the,
Oh,
because you're
okay,
not
okay.
a true fan or friend, and you don't watch my content, and you hate me.
See, I do know now that I see the picture here. Okay, yep, I got this thing.
Yeah,
Or I
so
got
that
it in
one-
my mind, yeah.
Years ago with my youngest son, I was having trouble like getting up. Like I'd play on the floor and then I have to slowly get up as my back like ticked itself back in. So I started doing like reverse hypers and back extensions and more core work. And I probably maybe fix some of my lifting forms, but that has nothing to do with it.
No, you can always you just buy yourself out of those.
Yeah.
it's just
And
one
that
piece of
machine has
equipment
helped me a
away.
lot.
Okay,
That
cool.
thing, yeah. And there's other companies. Rogue makes one,
Yep.
everybody makes one. Stray Dog and all kinds of stuff.
Okay, yeah, I like that suggestion.
That's
But
a
those
good
are cool because
suggestion.
you're
Yeah.
getting a lot of functionality in, a somewhat small space. And I
Yeah.
use it every workout. It's actually one of my wife's favorite things. When she was pregnant, she would do a lot of back extensions because it was the only thing that made her back feel better.
Mm.
And the happier, the more equipment I can have. So that's really important.
Yes.
Exactly. I was gonna say, curious if you've ever messed with it, because last week we were on the podcast, we were talking about Arsenal equipment. And
Yep.
this isn't Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal's not necessarily what I would conventionally consider home gym equipment, because
Economy. Yep, it's economy
yeah,
equipment.
right there. And there, there's price. There's also like, I don't know, a lot of home gyms don't have the footprint to be able to put giant machines that serve one purpose in
single
them.
purpose machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did want to follow. This is also just for Tommy's knowledge, because we were talking about prices last week of Arsenal gym equipment, and I did get some quotes and stuff. And it was more reasonable than what I was predicting just some like huge prices on some of this stuff. And it was all actually, I don't know, reasonable is not the right word, but when I'm predicting this and it comes in more like somewhat of a normal price, I start to think that it's reasonably priced, even though
That's
it's
how
still
they get you.
probably
You've
expensive.
tricked yourself, yeah.
Right. Yeah, like I tricked myself into thinking this is
Congratulations,
now
you've played yourself.
right. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like, so like the selectorized piece of equipment, the one we were talking about, the lat.
The lat raise.
Is that like
lat
that
raise.
M1 or something?
Yes, that's an M1. Yeah, that's the M1 lat raise, selectorized, whatever they call that one. Like that one shipped is $4,000.
That is not crazy, but a lot
Right.
for that.
Right, for like all you're
Movement.
getting is something to work your side delts, and it costs $4,000.
Yeah, it sounds
But it is
worth
really
I
good
think
at
too.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably going to be so popular that you should just get two right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you own the gym, right? You can get whatever
Yeah.
you want.
But I did play this mental game with myself that I'm like, yeah, $4,000. That's actually not. thought it might have been $6,000.
That was
somehow,
Yeah,
before
yeah.
so-
that was like our guests were like, I don't know. I'm sure after shipping it's 5 or 6 pretty easy. So
I think you're
Right.
saving money by buying it. You have
Yeah.
to. You
Well,
put
then
pen to
you
paper,
have like
know?
$2 extra $1,000 to spend on other equipment then. Because
okay,
of the
Yeah.
but that was
money
okay. So that was the one with the stack. The other two pieces
Yeah.
did not have a stack though, right?
The ones without a stack, to get
It's
those
like here
and
come
get
the
them
savings,
shipped.
right?
So like the
it's the same price.
yeah, the humbler, the chest supported.
Oh yeah.
Roll-
I think I've seen that. Yep.
Yeah. So those, they're plate loaded ones, whatever they call their plate loaded ones. I can't remember now. I would have to look it up. But those shipped are about $3,000, on average. So those are $1,000 more reasonable. They don't have the plate stack on them, but still $3,000.
Really can't.
Those
afford
plates are
not to.
expensive, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So that's the update on Arsenal equipment.
I'm sure it's fantastic. That's the kind of stuff like when I review, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to go into those types of niches.
Right.
I'm not saying there are people with gyms that absolutely blow mine and people like Brandon's away and they have commercial quality equipment. And it would be fun because it gets, I don't want to say boring, but like if you do 10 all-in-ones in a row, it's like, okay, hey, let's talk about cable ratios. Let me tell you the same line said slightly different.
Yeah. That's true.
But that would be fun, but it's hard for me to cover.
Right.
Yeah.
And because like you said, there are some people buying it, but not very many for a home gym.
I mean, let's be real. There's
honestly.
not very many
Yeah.
commercial gyms that buy it even. So
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also like, do you start alienating people? Like I've had people be like, you're not relatable anymore. And I'm like, I have 7 YouTube subs, buddy. We're in the same. Now I don't, but I've had people like that before. And you're like, I don't know. I guess I'm just a jerk. Sorry.
Yeah.
The other follow-up on
us.
The other follow-up on equipment that also doesn't, interestingly enough, also doesn't really apply to what you're able to cover on your channel is marketplace finds is something we talk about quite a bit on the podcast, where it's interesting because that really doesn't apply because there's nothing, every marketplace find is a one-off.
Yeah,
every
it's
single
one-off.
one is
There's
a
no
one-off.
affiliate. There's no like way to monetize that in any way. It's just you're just doing a community service talking about it, I guess.
Yeah, and it's not all about making money. You gotta have fun with it. But like,
still, like,
how do you even phrase that video? Like, what's the structure?
Right.
Go on Facebook, scroll until you want to shoot yourself, and then eventually you might find something.
Right.
You might die getting it, but you will save.
But for the right score, it could be worth it. Like this one.
It could be worth your life.
Yeah, this one, Big Bryce, Perfect Little Sweeties Gym, who we gym toured earlier this year, he picked up that just this week for $100. He picked that setup of 5 to 50 York roundhead dumbbells that looked in really nice condition for $100. He messaged it to me and said, I literally just saw this and got out of bed immediately to like go.
I mean, that is absolutely just someone not knowing what they got, right?
Well,
That's
yes.
I asked him like if the guy, and he's like, oh, it seemed like he just really wanted to get rid of it. And he's like, I kind of felt bad afterwards, but also not that bad.
so. Tanner, you've recently bought a whole set of those. What is like the 5 through 50s? What does that go for roughly?
Well, I mean, he paid $100. That's what the one pair of 30s would be worth.
Right. I mean, would that be $1,000 pretty easy?
I'd have to do the math on what that adds up to. How much weight is that? I guess is none of the 5 through 50s by 5s. None of those are particularly rare, but they're all still worth.
Well, it's weight.
$1 to $2 a pound. Easily $1 to $2 a pound, and they're pretty nice condition. So yeah, it's probably worth $500 to $1,000 on the used market without doing any math. And he got for $100. So it's just kind of funny the crazy stuff you can find at times through marketplace. Or this is kind of maybe a little more relevant, like Tommy's lat pull down. We spent some time talking about this. There's all these lat pull down options now from the companies we're familiar with, like Bells of Steel, Rep, et cetera, et cetera. Yet, and Tommy was going for a while of like what his best option. You looked at several of those options, Tommy.
Yeah,
even like
I watched
selectorized versus plate loaded options.
I was watching a lot of your videos, Gluck. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
Only my videos, right?
They were. I was watching you go through all these, and I'm like, I don't know what the best option is here. Like, I can't decide because I'm like, I think I'm going to make a decision sometime soon here. And then I had never even looked at Marketplace once for a lat pull down machine. I type it in. The very first one I see is this one right here. It had been on for a while, like to the point where the guy had lowered the price. And I'm like, you know what? It's like, you can't just look. The first one you see, like, that can't be the right one. So I just kind of ignored it for a few days. And then the fact that it wasn't going anywhere, I'm like, maybe this one was meant to be. And I mean, that's the one it turned into. But anyways, Tanner, though, your point though there, Tanner, was
just that. I mean, at the end of the day, you end up spending $300 on that, and it's maybe the best. It's a commercial grade lat pull down. You can't bank on Facebook Marketplace. And
you could very easily look for a couple more years and I mean, you could find something similar, but it might be $900 might be the cheapest you'll ever find, you know?
Right.
Tanner, you're getting into a dangerous game of starting to collect some vintage stuff too.
True.
Speaking of Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, that is a dangerous game. You know, so I have a couple pairs of the York deep dish plates.
Got 3 myself.
You have a pair marked, don't you?
I have marked, 2 unmarked. I have some other plates too, but those are my big ones. I mean, to a lot of people that's not big, but to me it is.
They cost $1,000 or more a pair. I mean, that is significant. That is not insignificant.
And that's just like that would blow when Tanner first told me that. I'm like, I'm kind of in this world a little bit, and that one just blows my mind.
The crazy part is that's not even expensive.
That's what I was gonna say. The longer I'm in it, then the more I look at it, I'm like, these aren't even. This is just kind of like.
It's like your base enter.
These are like the intro of the expensive ones, basically. Like there's cheaper ones, but they're almost even just like borderline collectible. Like if you know one, but like ones I like are like the Eagle ones. I always say the name wrong.
Schistler?
It's like Schistler.
Yep,
like they're not that expensive, but I want to get I want to find the blue ones.
Yeah, me too.
You know, they're not even that expensive. They're just kind of hard to find, and they're not made in America, so that makes them not.
Yep.
But they look cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Or like Marcy. I have
Marcy's.
Okay, I want to get a pair of those.
I do hub lifts with them.
Yeah, they're good for hub lifts, and they're somewhat expensive, but they're not like crazy expensive.
Now they're like $400 or $500 a pair.
Right. And see, that's what once you do this long enough, you say $500 for one pair
you're
of old
right,
plates.
Though, the first time
is not that expensive. Yeah, you're like that's not that expensive.
That's kind of collectible, and you can't be too hard on.
Right. Like you see the weeder cross
hubs,
and they're like $2,000-$3,000 for a pair. Then
no, you think that's bad? There was the Zoovers, the ones with the guy.
Yeah.
So one of the guys was selling them, and I was like, I gotta ask, and it was $28,000 for the pair, hand delivered.
Okay.
Like he came to your house and gave them to you.
But
obviously I couldn't afford them. $28,000.
Is there people that are actually in the market for that, or is that just he's just thrown out a price?
Efren.
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, is Efren even going to pay that? Like, is that actually
a number?
Somebody is. I almost guarantee somebody is. There's some people in there in the groups that are big spenders, like that I've seen that like.
I mean,
will
Jacksons
spend
can go 10,000.
Jacksons,
really?
I saw there was a really nice pair of Jacksons for sale today, like Thursday.
Oh, there's 3,000. The
Eries. Yeah.
yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah,
did you see that guy found like 7 pairs at a YMCA though? I don't know.
I did.
What do you
see
think
that.
he paid for it? And he's like, I'm just gonna turn around and make 15,000.
Probably almost nothing. I mean, honestly, like Tommy, what was your deal on the plates you bought? That it wasn't your YMCA; it was basically your hometown YMCA.
Yeah,
they were selling it just $5 a plate.
I heard that. Yeah, he got 345s. What are you gonna do with 345s?
Well, we'll see. We'll find.
Well, $5 a plate, you figure out.
I mean, at $5 a plate, they're practically disposable. You can't turn that down.
And of course, those weren't collectible plates, but if they had been, they still would have been selling them for $5 a plate.
They could be rusted to crap, and you still sell them for 50 cents a pound.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of the interesting Facebook Marketplace find stuff that is very interesting, but does not really make for interesting YouTube. Well, doesn't. It's hard to make into worthwhile YouTube content, I guess is how I would phrase that.
At least I'm not skilled enough to do it.
Like, do you check Marketplace like once a day, or do you not even do that?
I do check. Well, I sell a lot of my own stuff on Marketplace. So sometimes I'll get addicted to scrolling stuff, but then it's like somehow, how am I looking at a tank? Like, I want a tank right now.
Yeah.
So you do kind of pay attention to what's in the area, though. Like, you have a general idea of kind of some of the stuff that's popping up.
A tiny bit if I'm looking.
Like, within a 100-mile radius, though, like, is there a lot of stuff out there for you guys?
Not that's logically priced.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in Connecticut, and people think that everything's worth the same amount. Like they bought it for it's like $20 less.
That's something we've talked about quite a bit. It's like, no, you can't just knock the price of shipping off and sell this used thing. I'm buying the new one. Then I'm not going to buy your used one and have this possibly questionable interaction with someone over the internet. And
I know they're not selling it though, because I have stuff like when I review it, I can't keep everything. If you do come see the tour, sometimes I do keep a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. But like I'll review something, I'll have it for like 6 weeks, build it, test it, do whatever, beat on it, and then I'll go to sell it for like 50% brand new.
Mhm.
And sometimes then you can't even get somebody to to look at it.
So do you get since you obviously are having to go through equipment quite a bit and sell quite a bit, do you get like a lot of repeat buyers that you're like that this guy's like, yeah, I'm always interested to see what Gluck's got for sale because I might be a
Yeah.
buyer. Yeah.
Or if a video comes out, some people will message me and be like, "You selling that?"
Yeah.
Calling dibs on it.
So I've had
Yeah.
stuff sold before the video came out because people ask. But yeah, I get repeat people because I like to think I'm friendly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stab you.
And
You
it's
know who I
usually
am.
Brandon taking it back to Rhode Island.
I've offered him like my Hansu calibrated plates for free and stuff, but he hasn't taken them.
Are they the colored ones or the
No, they're
also?
just straight chromes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about Hansu? Are
What's
they
going on over there? What's the inside scoop?
So I guess they're kabuki. I guess they're not delivering.
Yeah. Someone
They-
sent one of the guys in our Discord this week posted he finally got an email back from someone, and it almost looked like it was written by someone whose English was not their first
Oh,
language.
definitely do not speak English. Whoever wrote that email. There was
Oh
a
yeah,
word-
they're not like a domestic company.
Right.
Yeah, but
There's
I
a
didn't
lot
even
of
know
these companies that will put you. I'm not saying they do this, but they'll put like USA in their name or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But a lot of them aren't here.
I just didn't know. If
I've
even
had a
for
lot of
them-
interaction with them, and their English isn't great.
Yeah, I just didn't know
Yeah.
if they even had someone that like in America that was more customer facing or handled things that would speak English, but apparently not.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not making their deliveries or whatever. They're one, so I get a lot of questions like, why don't you review X, Y, and Z? And they're one of the ones I have a decent amount of their equipment. But if there's enough red flags, and I'm not saying Hansu's a bad company anyway, but if I'm
there
gonna
are,
put
there
a
are at
ton
least
of
red
time
flags
in,
right now, though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's safe
Yeah.
to say that it's really fair to say that there are red flags.
there
right
are
now.
red flags, and it's the same with Kabuki. Like, there's been red flags for years, especially when you're a little bit on the inside and you
Yep.
start hearing things, and it's like, do I put all this time into it? Because of my reputation on the line, if I say you're great, then even if I can't control you, I look like a jackass if you're not,
Right. Yeah. So who else has red flags?
I can't say that, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
What about-
Most companies at some point will piss me off. This is
Yeah.
why if you watch my videos, I'm so like, I don't want to say anti-corporations, but the bigger they get, the more aggravating they get with their decisions and how they handle things.
What about Tommy? We were talking about affiliate marketing or the way affiliate programs work. Like, are you happy with the way most affiliate programs work? Do you think it's a fair two-sided exchange? Like, is there anything that should be different about it as someone that utilizes that quite a bit?
So if you have kids, cover your ears. Affiliate programs are absolute shit for content creators.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. I'm not going to sell these companies out, but I had one of the top 5 home gym companies talk to me just yesterday, and they told me that their marketing or their business guy said like their affiliate system is their worst performing system, which is BS to me. Because if you send me like a $500 rack and I do a video, you might sell 100 of them. The problem is there's no incentive for somebody to click a link.
Yeah.
Right.
Even my best friends won't click my freaking links.
Right.
I hate
right.
everybody I know.
Well, I
You're,
think
right.
people
You're,
don't-
you're absolutely right, though.
It is, but I think people
Yeah.
have gotten so, and I agree with you. Like, yes, like if someone watches your video, like that's the easiest way to say thank you if you're going to buy something. But I
Yeah.
think what's ruined it is there's just so many out there that for anything you try to look up to buy, you get spammed with all these lists of everything, and you don't know
do.
anything on the price on it or any of that, and you got to click the link to see. So I think some people just get used to like.
Well,
just
they don't
basically
want. There's no
spammed with it, but-
incentive, so
Right.
they're not going to click it. So
Yeah.
it's like your 1% of subs or fans or viewers, or whatever you want to call them. Like those are the best people. Those are what keep you in business.
Well-
But if I like, so
Well-
if you saw my rep-ins, go ahead, Tommy.
Well, so when you said though, the guy, what did he say? It's their worst. What was the word?
It's
you
their
used?
worst. So
Was he?
I
Did
don't
he
want to
mean
kill
like
them too
marketing
bad, but they
channel
had
though?
hundreds of. Well, basically the idea is they had hundreds of affiliates, and they were lumping us all together. A business guy was.
Oh,
and they're saying on average we're the worst performing. So they cut all their affiliates
And
down to 8
Okay, when they say worst performing, are they saying like that's the worst performing like marketing channel?
versus specifically like Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
And this
okay.
is funny because I've had this conversation a lot of times with companies is the problem with Facebook Marketplace, if you put $10,000 into an ad, which by the way, these companies put millions into their ads. But if they put $10,000 in their ads, they can directly see the $40,000 in sales. If you send me $1,000 power rack and my video gets 50,000 views, I might only get a few sales, like official sales. In
Right.
reality, we get tons. Like we did the Reppins video, and in that video, we talk about Dean from Black Widow,
Yep.
his dumbbell stand. I had a prototype. I talked about it for a minute. There's no affiliate. There's a link, but it's not an affiliate. I don't get anything for it. He sold over 100 of them based on me mentioning it in a video. Don't get me, there's other factors. People on Facebook get it and they say it, but I was the only one with that dumbbell stand in the world at that point, and he sold well over 100 off me mentioning it in a video. So I know that we make sales. It's just like as an affiliate, there's no incentive unless there's a coupon code. So why do people use them? So content creators get crapped on all the
and
time
what's
because
so
it looks
funny-
like we're not making the money.
What's so funny about it too, though, is that and I mean, it's like any market you're into or any hobby you're into. There's a good chance you have content creators that you follow and watch. And it's like they are kind of the advertising arm of these companies because it's like, let's just say Rogue, for example, just because they're a big company. Like, yeah, I can go to their product marketing page and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of getting the shiny polished version of this, but like, all right, I want someone to give me the scoop on this thing, you know? Like how many people, I'm just curious, like how many people are just like, nope, Rogue's marketing page is all I need to see. I don't care about anything else. I don't need to see any reviews. Like I'm buying just off of that. I really do feel like on these big purchases, the purchase funnel has to be like, okay, I know the product exists. Now I got to see what maybe some of the reviews say. Now, if I'm getting more serious, I'm going to see what the actual inside people say on this. And they said it. Okay, now I'll go back and get that item then. Like
and that's how I work, right?
Yeah.
But so when I was talking to that same company, they said they rebranded one of their companies to like a new thing. And this was their argument. And they said, now it's whatever they sell. I don't want to sell them out because they're gonna watch this and be like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But they said they rebranded it and now it's like a multi-million-dollar sales they've made. And they literally told me that it doesn't matter as long as we get it in front of people's faces, they'll buy it. We don't need a reputation. And I was like, that is insane because if you look at my Rogue Twin Stack, that thing has like 150,000 reviews. Rogue's obviously going to notice that. Their sales are going to go up. Whether I get credit or not doesn't matter. But like I feel like we are the cheapest advertising in the world because you sent me this and I bought the Rogue thing. So I literally paid to get them publicity. But you send me something and it goes out to tens of thousands plus people. What did that cost you, you know?
Yeah. The math does start to just get. And then you actually look at how massive these companies are and what their budgets are. Like you were saying, spending tens of thousands, if not more, on ads. Like these are all just drops in the bucket to.
It's nothing to them. I talked to Kayvon from Bells of Steel. You guys know Kayvon, super honest, upfront guy.
That old son of a bitch.
Yeah, he was talking about a company had cut our affiliate down like half the percentages, which it wasn't a big percent to begin with. And he's like, they spend more than that on a Facebook ad in a single day. And I've seen some of these companies ad revenues and you're like, this is sickening what they blow like on these ads.
Yeah. That's affiliate marketing in a nutshell then.
Yeah, just don't reward the guy making the content. That guy's a jerk.
What about YouTube in general? Any comment on state of YouTube or like anything you're picking up more as of late or anything that you're changing, anything that you're directioning different because of like YouTube itself? I am not saying that with any preconceived. I'm not trying to target you in anywhere. I'm just asking like if you do have anything like that comes to mind.
So I think I'm just constantly learning. My problem with YouTube is I just don't have time. So how this started is a one-man show. And then eventually I got a part-time editor who's now full-time. And we actually just got Winnie. She's now that we have 3 kids, she wants to kind of spend more time with the kids. So she's going to be working with me and spending time with the kids and taking care of them, which is awesome. But that gives me enough time because she does all the emails and stuff. So my strategy hasn't changed. I just now have time to pursue more fun things. So if you see some of my last couple of videos, they're a little more laid back or relaxed on my part because I can do these stupid ideas that aren't going to make any money, but at least it's fun and I have the time. But YouTube's just been growing very quickly. Our channel's grown like well over 50% this year alone, and our
That's
views have
huge. Yeah.
skyrocketed lately. So I don't know if I've done anything different. I've just like now that I have the time to actually think and plan, it's still all last minute, the execution, but I can set it up more and there's less stress. So things have gone well over there.
So do you feel like, I mean, could you pin that on any one reason, or do you just think it's we've been consistently putting out quality content for long enough and we're getting
I
rewarded for it?
Listen, I'm not even consistent. Like you guys, you guys are consistent. I am not. I skip weeks all the time. It's just I think I'm just learning how to like what people are into or topics or how to keep them interested. And I guess maybe I'm playing the game better. You come up, figure out the titles a little better, do a little better with your thumbnails, and a lot of those things kind of come together and hopefully it eventually takes off.
It,
But man, it is a grind.
Yes.
it is a weird trial and error though thing though too. Like ours is on a smaller scale, but legitimately in like the last 2 or 3 months, it's like, oh, that's what
We
we
feel
did
like
so
we're kinda
stupid about that one
getting it a
12
little
months
bit.
ago, where it's just like, no, the video was fine. We just screwed up like the last like 5% details that
Yeah.
would have actually like made all the difference in the number of views at the end of the day.
Yeah, and there's these little factors that like nobody's gonna tell you what they are. And even if I could, like I could tell you I do these 15 steps and I could line it for you, but it wouldn't work for you. Like our approaches, our personalities, our things are very different. But I could literally make a book of like this is how I do my things, and it might help some people, but it's so specific to who you are.
And
Right.
that's actually one of our big takeaways is like, I'm not a Mr. Beast fan. I don't like watch his stuff. I've maybe seen
doing the
five.
face?
Well, yeah, I've maybe seen 5 Mr. Beast videos ever, but for whatever reason, I remember, and I think I called you, Tanner. I think I listened. Who did you do a podcast with? Maybe Lex Friedman or something. And like his comment was like, if someone wants to make a YouTube channel, he's like, I tell them, all right, you have to make 100 videos before like anything that you do even matters. And like at that point, we had maybe made, not counting the podcast, 'cause that's kind of a whole different thing. At that point, we had been like kind of a year into posting, and it's like, oh, 50, geez, 50 more. Where are we going to be at? And like we're
Yeah.
kind of just at that 100-ish mark about right now. And we're like,
Right.
oh, and like to what Tanner said, like for us, it did take us like, I don't know, until like earlier this year to really figure out like what is our style and our voice. And now like once you kind of get that down for like, no, this is how we do it. And we're kind of seeing it working, and like it finally feels like you get some momentum that you can build off of.
Yeah, but it's just like it's insane because I will tell anybody like if you get shitty comments all the time. Uh so I would tell anybody like just do it because the fun of it, and it's not fun at all, is you have to do it for years in hopes that maybe you'll do okay. Like
Yeah.
nobody in their right mind would be like, "You do this for 5 years, guys, and it might work out for you, but you got to do the 5 years before you're going to find out."
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's the hard part with all that.
Yeah.
It's all about the game and how you play it. All right, that's cool. What about a little? You've played this game before. You're familiar with overrated, underrated, I think.
I've heard of it before.
Okay, I'm gonna spare everyone some of the details because most of the people have listened before. But just so you remember, you have to definitively land on overrated or underrated. You can't ride the line. You got to decide on each one. You have your druthers to elaborate as much or as little as you would like. First one. Overrated or underrated? Amazon equipment. Amazon equipment. Overrated or underrated?
Overrated. Underrated for views. You get a lot of views.
Okay. Yeah.
You do put your life on the line, but
Yeah.
that is a good example of a lot of that stuff, and this is not exclusive to Amazon, is designed by people. I don't want to be that jerk that says that don't even lift, but like they don't
That
understand
really
the
don't
movements,
lift. Period.
and they're just copying what they see other companies do. So you get some really weird design choices and some fun safety. But people love cheap stuff and they enjoy the views. They enjoy the videos, so it's fun content to make.
Are there some diamonds in the rough there that you like through buying that you're like, oh, I thought it was all crap, but really when it comes to buying X, like the Amazon equipment's probably fine, or
So, did you see my Eon Fit cable tower? It's like the little one with the arms articulate
Is
out.
that the one you just had the video on?
Yeah, so I bought that with the idea. We were talking about how you come up with YouTube ideas. The idea before I bought it was I came up with the title of the video, and I don't want to say it. Well, it was I spent $500 on this, and then you make your Mr. Beast face, and then people will get mad at you for making the face, but it works.
Yeah. But then they'll click
But
on
I
the
got
video.
it in, and it was really good. I mean, okay, it's $450. Don't get too excited.
But that's
but
the thing,
Right.
you're grading it on a
it
curve
was
here.
so much better than I
Yeah.
thought it was.
Yep.
So we really enjoyed that thing actually. So sometimes there are, but there's just so many pieces of crap out there.
Yeah. Okay. Overrated or underrated? Now these seem to generally be pretty highly rated by most, from what I've seen. Overrated or underrated? The Reppin dumbbells.
Can you? Everybody loves them.
That's everybody loves them, right? Like
Well, not
what-
everybody, but yeah.
Yeah. And what do they cost roughly? I know there's different sizes.
$1,400
Yeah,
for
the biggest.
125-pound set.
Right.
$1,000 for the 80.
80.
Yeah.
It's 85, but
So at least $1,000. And
but
I'm not saying that matters, but maybe it's a factor in the equation.
it's definitely a factor.
Yeah.
That's tough. They're very good. They're solid. If I had only one pair, that's probably the one I would keep. But that doesn't mean they're not overrated. Like they're so freaking hyped, and I got so mad of people just like, this is the greatest thing ever, and nobody had them in their hands.
Right.
And that is just like the
That's true.
American consumerism is an unstoppable machine, and I love it because it keeps me employed.
Yeah.
But like, it was a little crazy. So they're very good product. I like them, but I would say they're probably overrated just because everybody in the world just overhyped them so much.
That's fair.
I think that's fair, yeah.
Overrated or underrated sheet rockers?
I think mine were overrated. No, what's funny is the second guy I hired was nuts. I don't want to say his name, but they fired him after this job because he would just talk for so long. So like there was one point
You
where I
should
went
start
in
a
to move my
podcast.
he should. I went to move my prime shorty bench because if you watch, you'll have to watch the video. But this is my first impression of this guy. First gets there, he's screaming and swearing. My wife wants to kick him out. She doesn't even know who he is. The doors are open. He's yelling, screaming, blah, blah, blah. And he's fighting and doing all this crap. He's on the phone. And it was all because he wanted $100 more for the job. And you're like, you're sheetrocking like 1,100 square feet. How much?
Yeah.
But anyway, I had to go in there to move my prime shorty bench because he was just going to sheetrock over it. He sheetrocked over it. He ripped down all our plastic and sheetrocked over our rogue rack. It still doesn't, like, the cables don't pull right because it's just full of sheetrock compound. And
Yeah.
I have to physically take this thing apart to clean it to make it work. But anyway, I went in to move my prime shorty bench, and then my wife comes over to like rescue me because I'm in there for like an hour and a half. He won't stop talking. He's telling me about how he was in a gang, his drugs, and how he used them, how he sheetrocked Jay Leno's house, and the light they used to check the seams. And I was like, he showed me his house, his kid. I think we were like best friends now.
Yeah.
But that guy. That guy was a little overrated, but
Yeah.
in general, I think they're probably underrated. But the moral of that story was my wife came to rescue me, and I gave her a look, and I was like, "Don't come in here. Like, only one of us needs to die, honey.
Save
Only
yourself.
one of us needs to
Save
die."
yourself. I'll jump on this grenade for
Yeah,
all
so
of
that's
us.
why my like rogue single stack is covered in sheetrock because I was like, I don't care. I'm not going back in there. It took him like forever. He missed spots. I did half the work myself. But I think in general, laborers and stuff are underrated. But that guy was. It was a wild ride, but he was overrated.
Because the original ones, I don't think this was the original one. They basically ended up just like not even doing the job. Then is that right?
So they
Like
hung part of it. You know, they screwed it into the ceiling. It's only the ceiling that sheetrocked.
Okay.
And then they went home and decided they wanted like 3 times the money. And this guy only wanted $100 more. So
It's like,
It's a bargain.
we can. I think we can swing the $100.
The $100.
So,
I
you
would've
really
gave it
sold yourself
myself.
short, buddy.
yeah, he
Yeah.
taught my kids some swears that day. But
Yeah. Okay. All right. Last one, and certainly the most important one this week. This time around on overrated, underrated.
I'm nervous. I'm like a
it's
teenage girl on her first date.
Yeah, I think you should have some sort of an opinion on this. I don't know what it's going to be, but overrated or underrated. Lavender Pond Farms.
What? What?
Lavender Pond Farm. Are you familiar?
No, I heard what you said. I'm just lost at this point of what's even going on. Why don't you explain to the listeners?
Not
because I have no idea what's going on.
We were hoping you would bring us up to speed.
Yeah,
here.
we were hoping you could explain to us a little bit about Lavender Pond Farm.
I'm hoping you can explain to me what the hell we're talking about.
Okay.
It sounds really familiar, so I feel like really stupid for not this work.
Yeah.
But I don't sleep anymore, so.
Lavender Pond Farm is in Killingworth, Connecticut.
Okay.
They make all natural lavender products, including lotions, soaps, essential oils, sachets, pillows, and more. Lavender Pond Farms. So you've never been there, maybe?
No. Am I supposed to be affiliated with this in any way?
I just thought maybe you would. Maybe it's a small town that you've been there before.
It is a tiny town, but I don't leave my gym. So.
Okay.
Who did the research on this one?
Well, I did about
interns.
30 seconds before we started here tonight. I was looking up, just looking for obscure things in your area.
I was gonna say it was like very specific because it's right down the road, but I have no idea what it is. So I was like, what the hell did somebody tell him? Like somebody's got a picture of me there, like sniffing soap or something. And I'm like, that's not me, guys. That's definitely not me.
Please, before the next time we have you on, whenever that is, can you do a little research between now and then on so we can ask you this again? And
you want me to give you the questions ahead of time?
Yeah, in like 2 or 3 years, we want to recover.
We want to see a Lavender Pond Farms
follow
review
up on
video
this.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard you're cutting down your guests now, so it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be hard to get on again.
No, really, what's happening is we're cutting the fat. So
Brandon got it. Yeah, I listened to his third one.
He's out. No, what will probably happen is it'll realistic. I mean, we will have some new people sprinkled in here and there, but what it'll be is our favorite ones like this. It'll just be doing those ones again. Honestly, like there'll be more of that of the best ones, and then taking a chance on some newer ones, but not as many new ones as we've done in the past, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be tough to find people that are, good on. I'm not, so somebody better than me that's better on camera and podcasts. Like they must have the right energy and stuff.
No, you're good at this. What you get is, there's such a variety of people that it's tough on all the people we've never talked to them before. You don't really know what it's going to be like. And some of those turn out to be awesome, but it is just a crapshoot too.
Well, it's like when you go to the Arnold and you talk to some of these guys and you're like, I don't know what you were on, but it affected you. Like something's off here, guys.
Yes. And thank you for not naming us by name when you said that. So.
It was only one of you that I was talking to.
Yeah, well, we know
Talking
what
about.
that is. So.
I think it's obvious which one of us that
it's
was.
definitely obvious. I think everybody knows.
It's like when Tommy, back in the early days, like, I mean, this is very, 7 or 8 years ago, someone said this is back when there was 3 of us, and someone said one of the hosts sounds like was
Beavis.
it Beavis or Butthead?
I think it was like Beavis, and then like that
Beavis.
came up several times.
And looks like, or just
It's just like,
And
just
it still occasionally comes up, and it is me that I when you look around the room and no one else sounds like Beavis, that's when you know you're the one.
I don't hear it, but now I'm
See,
gonna go
I never
watch
did either. Like I never
No, I
totally
don't
got
hear
that
it.
one.
I was picturing Tommy, so I guess I was really off.
I like that one.
No,
it could be anyone, I guess, because I just don't get that one.
I think so. I think it came up even recently, like in this. I don't think this was someone playing a long joke. Like someone's on a YouTube video, there was that comment sometime within the last few months, like, "Oh, that guy sounds like Beavis." So it definitely.
But those
to be
are
fair, it
crazy
must be
people
there.
in the comments. Those
True.
are some actually insane people sometimes. Not the 99%, but the 1%, just take it over.
Well, it was the Dr. Mike, the time we did a video with him, or I think it was we were podcasting. He's like, "How often do you guys leave comments on YouTube videos?" We're like never. He's like, "How often do you leave a comment on a YouTube video for something you don't even know about?" Like, never have. And he goes, all right. So it's like, he's like, we're talking about like the 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
And then he's
Yeah,
like,
but-
and then he's like just getting the, the numbers down for how crazy you have to be to like make it that far through the process.
Yes, it's insane.
Honestly,
I mean, I could go on
yeah.
a list every day. I gave my wife, I say, do you want to play our favorite game? Our favorite game, by the way, is there's 12 different games. And that's the only intro I have. And it's me reading comments.
Yeah.
Like I had one the other day with your bench heavy shirt. And
Yeah.
somebody's like, you've never benched heavy a day in your life. And you're like, okay. Like,
yeah.
it doesn't have anything to do with this video. but
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
like yeah, that is the only YouTube comments I leave, honestly, it would be on like Gluck's channel or Brandon's channel or
Yeah,
like
that's
the
what I
people I
do.
actually know that I'm just like
could you
and
imagine just
yeah.
searching for some random thing that you don't really know that much about, and then telling the
and then
creator,
leaving
like,
a
you also
nasty
don't-
comment.
You also
I
don't know
You
what you're talking
suck.
about here,
Like,
man.
I just watched this one video of you and I just want to say something bad about you. Like
Yeah, I hate
I-
everything about you. Never
Like-
hated somebody as much as I hate you right
I-
now.
I
That free
want-
content really pissed me off.
it's a wild
I
thought.
can't believe you took time to try to help people out. You absolute dickhead.
I'm going to try and say something to personally attack you deeply.
Have you guys gotten to the point where you find the guys whose account that's their entire personality? And you can tell from their account name that that's all
That's
they do
just
is
like-
go around
that's-
and try to troll people.
Yeah, I think
that's a weird game to be playing.
Yeah, I
Like,
think like if we were coming into YouTube fresh, I think those comments would probably bug us a lot more. But through the years of like Instagram comments, I think you just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh yeah, these aren't real people. Like these don't matter.
You
Right.
have to like learn to brush it off because it'll
Mhm.
they'll take you down. That's their goal.
Or if nothing else, at times use it. If it's bad enough, it's like, oh, this has value somewhere. It's like I use this as part of content. then going
Yes,
forward
I
or
do it
something,
all
you
the
know?
time.
Yeah.
So like I'll make jokes all the time setting people up like in my Smith machine for Bell's thing. I make
Yeah.
this whole spiel about like, okay, keyboard warrior, and I'll make these other jokes. And then that guy will come and make the comment and you're like, I set you up and you walk
Yeah,
right
yeah,
into it.
Yep. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. That's what you gotta do.
All right. Well, great news. You passed overrated, underrated again. So we will, in
Thank
fact,
God.
air the second appearance of you on the podcast. We will try to not have Brandon on again before having
That-
you on so you can have a chance to tie him at 3.
Yeah, I mean he beat me in that home gym competition, so I'm pretty upset.
Oh, so you went out the same round as us then too, because Brian Shaw beat us in the final 4. So
Fair, no offense, but
yeah.
I don't know how I got as far as I did.
Also-
first round.
Massenomics Gym is not really a home gym.
Well, but
like
what's
that
Have you
the
seen
might
their
be
new Smith machine though?
true.
It does have a
True.
Smith machine.
They have some York deep dish plates.
But
Yeah,
I think the
yes.
qualifier in this one was was it just most iconic gym or was it most iconic home gym?
But if I'm in the top 4, did we make it to top 4? Is
I
that where we got kicked out?
yeah, or
There's no
Or
way
what-
I'm in the
or,
top 4.
maybe it was
iconic
top
gyms.
8. And they went down to the top 4
It could
or
be
something.
top
like-
128. I don't know if I belong in there.
Well, it's also that voting is a weird thing because it's like,
Well, it's
is it
most
really
iconic
whose gym
to-
is better or who has
It's
more?
most iconic to this group
followers.
of people watching
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
And
right
it's
now.
like not
with
even
a
who has
niche within
more
a niche.
followers, but who has the right number of followers that like are also going to vote on this thing. Because like the first one we beat in the first round is like those two. I don't know. They have like 250,000 followers on Instagram, but
Small time compared to you. Got it.
well, no, what I'm saying is way bigger, but I don't think they cared about it. So then it's like
No.
their followers don't do anything when they don't
Wait.
give a shit about what this thing going
Yeah,
on. You know?
it was a brilliant way to build your like Instagram though, wasn't it? Because you get a bunch of
Very
people to
good.
repost this stuff. It's
Yep.
brilliant. It's brilliant.
There's definitely something to that.
Yeah.
It's not his first rodeo, is it?
No.
We not gonna say it, but just as a fun thing, because I saw other people saying it. It seems to be a mystery of who it is, but we do know who it is.
I know
and
who
you
it
probably
is.
know who it is
I do
also.
know who it
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
yeah.
We won't unmask the
So
vigilante.
he does indeed know what he is doing.
Yes, he does know what he is doing.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I thought you were gonna say my favorite saying. Do you guys want to know my favorite saying?
What?
Let's hear it.
I say this to my wife all the time and my friends, and nobody gets it but my wife because I say it all the time. Every Tommy has his Tanner. So if you guys could work that into like
Yeah.
with some Creed jokes
Yeah.
and like
Yes,
You know?
That is pretty good.
that's good. Yeah.
You can reverse it too. Every Tanner
Yeah.
has Tommy.
Yeah,
It's
right,
a very
right.
versatile
Yeah,
thing. So
wow, that
just-
covers
Right.
basically every scenario now. Wow, okay.
yeah, you can. So
Give
if
us
I
two
listen to
options.
your podcasts, I better hear that. And they're like
Okay.
58 hours long. You guys talk about
Well,
everything. I'm gonna
there's
listen
only
every
one a
second.
week that's like 2 to 3 hours long, and it's not much to digest.
Just easy listening content.
Thanks again for coming on, though. Thanks for staying up late on your East Coast time zone. I mean,
Yeah.
it's honestly late for us in Central time zone for that matter, but
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
we appreciate it. And we're just giving the people what they want. They get to see you in your natural habitat, every week or every time you post a video. This is a little different though, so I think your viewers will
This
like
is
it
my-
also.
intimate.
This is my real natural. You guys got to go
Right.
on YouTube and see my Christmas tree my wife picked out. It's wider than it is tall. I don't know how to work
It
the
is
camera.
really
I can see
wide.
I was looking at the
That's
proportions.
the
It
of that.
is-
stumpiest. That's a Christmas bush.
It's like 4 feet tall. You guys, and
Christmas.
It's like
bush.
5 feet wide.
she's gonna love that I called that thing out right there.
Is that real or fake?
It's
That is-
real. It
There's
is.
no way.
It-
No one would make a fake tree of that.
Nobody
shape.
would buy it.
Was
Somebody
she
came,
doing it
one
for
of her friends
content
came over and said,
reasons, or did
"Somebody
she-
sold you that."
Yeah.
Her
Did
and my
she-
son think it's hilarious to find these hideous trees.
I bet she felt bad for it. It's like when you go and you're like, no one's gonna pick the. It's almost like
The old
Charlie
pity
Brown picking
purchase.
out a tree.
You should
or
feel bad
something.
for me. I got to clean that thing. It doesn't fit. The best part is you get them wrapped, right? And it took like 8 guys, no joke. I have a picture. 8 guys to hold the tree thing down, and then a Polaris, with a winch on it, whatever they are,
Yeah.
to pull it through the thing. And they were swearing, and my 2-year-old was like, he just repeats everything now. We're like,
Yeah.
it was a good time.
Good stuff. All right. Well, Merry Christmas. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
More like Merry Lift Miss. Am I right?
Oh, perfect.
Probably never heard that one before.
No, I haven't. You should get some product placement in this
All right,
podcast.
we're on it. We're doing it now.
I like the wine shirt, also by the way. I expect to
Thanks.
see it in
It is your shirt.
I expect to see it in a thumbnail sometime. Coming to
You
a
will. I have
Gluck
to replace
thumbnail.
the blue one. Every other video is the blue one.
yeah. It pops.
It does.
All right.
Thanks a
See you
lot,
later.
See you guys. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Yeah.
Boom. Those are
Lavender
Lavender Pond Cool Beans
Farm. Lavender Pond
dipped
Farm
in essential
Cool Beans.
oils,
Yeah.
surrounded by.
I like
other
it better that
fancy
he didn't
wares.
know what Lavender Pond even was either.
I know. I think he kind
We're
of knew
all
what the name
laughing
was
and
a
I
little
don't-
bit, right?
Yeah, I think it must have registered to some degree, but
That is good. That is funny.
I had no reason to believe he did know what that was either.
I know that was. It's sometimes you got to take a shot, right?
Yeah, you only get one shot, one opportunity. What's bingo?
Oh,
Is that a
Dude,
today topic or
this
not?
is okay. I put this in here so long ago.
I know.
All right. There's another. I talked about this a while ago. There's sayings that people just like to cycle through. Did
Yeah.
a thing.
Oh,
Say
yeah,
it louder
yeah,
for
yeah.
the people in the back. Whatever
Those are really more comments than like most people don't say those things out loud.
Oh, I know.
right?
God,
Like-
no. Like if you said those out loud,
you
you
said those out like you
Yeah.
even saying those. I'm like, oh, I would like that'd be like nails on a chalkboard. If someone came in and out loud said, "I did a thing," I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
there was one. It slowed down a little bit for me now. But there was a while, I want to say a month ago when I put this on here, where I felt like every comment, just anything I read online had this comment on it. It was like, didn't have that on my bingo card for 2024. And I'm like, I actually was like starting to wonder, is there just like bot farms that leave this comment on things? Because not everybody can think that that's a good comment to leave all the time. Because it was like really around the election time, when it's just like, it just felt like every day some crazy news thing was happening. And it was like,
Didn't have that on my
bingo card for 2024.
Drones in New Jersey. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
Didn't have the alien invasion on my bingo card for 2024. And I'm like, dude, you just not like, okay, it's sure you think it's a cool saying, but don't use it. Like, don't do that.
I did not have that on my bingo card for 2024. Whatever I post on Instagram tomorrow, that's going to be the caption.
Yeah, it's that kind of
It
up there
just
with
doesn't
this,
matter.
This used to be a
We
proper
used to be a
country.
we used to be a proper country.
I actually really liked.
to be a proper country.
I actually laughed out loud when someone put "we used to be a
Use
proper
that.
country" and put like the Louisiana Purchase map on there. Whatever it was.
Well, I think it was British David, wasn't it? Like that has even deeper meaning because he's saying we used to be a proper country when you were just British colonies.
And it's just showing lines of like, all right, but
Yeah.
actually the French own this portion
Yeah.
here.
It's like,
Spain
you
owns
guys
this area.
were a proper country when the British owned you.
From now on, when people say we used to be a proper country, that's what I'm thinking of. When America was just under treaties
Yeah,
by
'cause-
various European nations.
Because to everyone, no matter how old you are, to someone else, like in
That
their
was the
time, it was a
wrong
proper
time.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no, we used to be a proper country. And then, like, to the generation before them, it's like, no, we used to be a
Yeah.
proper
It's
country.
like,
and then, like,
nowadays, people our age use it as like the 90s, were like prime
Right.
America. But
Right.
then it's like, no, if you were like 40 in the 90s, you're like, no, the 70s is when people.
that's when we were a proper country. And then, like, your great grandparents to
They'd be
your
like,
great grandparents
oh,
would
the,
be like, no,
the 40s and 50s after we rebuilding after the war, and everyone, it's like, it's
no.
just.
It's like 1890s when automobiles weren't quite out yet. That's when we were we used to be a proper country.
Wait, you mean to tell me that when everyone was like between the ages of 10 and 25, that's when they
Dying.
thought life was its best? You know?
Right.
You mean when I was growing up, everyone just thinks when they were growing up was the best? Huh. Didn't have that on my bingo card for 2024.
We used to be a proper country.
The old bingo card.
I'm glad we brought that. Didn't have that. I did not have that on my Massenomics bingo card for episode 455.
Actually, you know what's hilarious though is you could make the dumbest, like actual serious meme with that as the headline, and people would be like, "Hell yeah, brother!" Like,
Yeah,
people would be,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's also why we used to be a proper country.
Actually,
Because
I was
a
gonna
bunch of people are like, "Yep, we did." He's right. We used to be a proper country.
What could actually happen?
we were a proper country. We're not anymore with everything going on, but we used to be one.
You could make some type of didn't have that on my bingo card for 2024, and someone might actually leave the comment, "Yeah, we used to be a proper country." Like some. In like all seriousness, leave that as their response, and then someone under that could say, "Yeah, say it louder for the people in the back." And then after that, Instagram explodes.
That's good.
It collapses. The matrix rips a hole in it, and it collapses in on itself.
I'll tell you when we used to be a proper country, when we had JuggernautsAI.app. That's when we were a proper damn country. You'd head over to JuggernautsAI.app. You could get your training all there for about $30 a month when you use discount code Massenomics. It saves you 10% for the lifetime of your membership. It's backed by the mastermind, Chad Wesley Smith himself. It's backed by science-based training. It's backed by phasic structure training. It's backed by people like Tommy, crushing lifts all the time. What were you doing this week? Looked like 275 bench press for RPE Stapler.
It was way too, I mean, I'm just starting the strength block, but let's say it was a little too easy.
Yeah. To RPE air. Am I right?
Yep.
RPE hydrogen gas. Think gases that are lighter than air. That's what the RPE was. Wonder what's the lightest element in the periodic table of elements.
Oh, helium for sure.
Do you think
It floats balloons.
Helium seems like a good guess. I'm gonna
would
look it
guess
up.
There's probably there's got to be lighter ones. Let's see.
Hydrogen is the lightest element.
Yep.
RPE hydrogen. That's what I'm commenting from now on when people do any lift, even if it looks like a RPE 10.
Is that what they used to
I'm
fill the
saying-
old Zephyrs with back in the day?
Is that what? Where the one the Hindenburg where it blows up? Is that where they say the humanity, or is that a different video? That might be that.
No, I think that's a different. I don't know actually.
Is because hydrogen is hydrogen extremely flammable?
It is extremely flammable. Yeah. Who
So let's
thought
fill it
flying
in a
around in a hydrogen bomb would be a bad idea.
Yeah, hydrogen is considered highly flammable. Little science talk on this one, right within this Juggernaut AI ad. So it is the program that we use. It's not what I use right now because my programming is going to friggin' physical therapy and doing 20-pound leg extensions.
Doing
That's
God knows what they have you doing over there.
Friggin' doing some friggin' balancing on one friggin' leg
put your
over
purse
there.
down before you do that?
That's what I feel like. I am, side note, it hasn't bothered me up until just finally recently. I'm growing a little weary of being what I'm feeling like weak and little. But I'm like, okay, yep, I am now officially sick of this and it is now bothering me.
Yep.
That I am like ready to not be a little bitch anymore. I'm like, nope, I cannot wait to be like lifting some real, it's like affected my bench. Like I just feel
as someone
like a weak ass bitch.
As someone that's gone through that process, what really pisses you off too is when you kind of get mentally, your mental model of who you are calibrates to who's in front of you, and then you look at a picture, and you're like, oh God, I used to be so strong. What has happened to me? I'm just withered away.
Yeah. That is a tough thing. That is tough. I should be on the upswing in not too long, but it's after a while.
It's not like you're wasting away because you're just sitting around doing nothing. Like,
no,
there's a big difference here between.
Right. But Juggernaut AI.app. Use discount code Massenomics, save 10%.
All right. Well, if you've listened to this podcast, if you've known who I am for a while, you know there's one thing that I do, and that's I keep a yearly bingo card. And on this year's bingo card, the one thing I did not have on it was Juggernaut, or was Barefoot Shoes having an Ursus version 2 coming out. I did not have that on my bingo card. That came out of nowhere.
For a split second, you tricked me, and I'm like, are you forgetting that we just talked about bingo? Like, I'm like, do you have a separate bingo thing here? You have a separate bit about bingo?
Like bingo. No.
Like, do you forget we just made fun of this?
Nope. I'm just talking about my bingo card. And at the beginning of the year, I wrote Barefoot Shoes Ursus, but I did not put Ursus Gen 2 on it. And Barefoot Shoes came out with the Ursus Gen 2. It's a version 2 of the beloved Ursus shoe that Tanner and I wear all the time. So the second option has the same upper, but it's got a reworked sole and a few other little details throughout. And this thing you can get on pre-order right now. I'm looking though, some of the sizes are some are gone, some are getting down there. So if you want
the Gen 2,
yeah,
I've got mine ordered.
All the big boy sizes are out. It's just and even some of the little ones are out too. So do not wait. If you think you're interested, hopping over to barefoot.store, use code Massenomics, and you can save 10% on your next order. Barefoot.store, code Massenomics, save you 10%. Thank you, Barefoot Shoes.
You have you ever listened to the OK podcast before?
I've listened to it a lot. Yeah. Actually, I will say though, I'm on like the worst 2 to 3 month stretch of podcast listening in my life right now. So I am very behind. I hadn't missed an episode in like 2 years, and I'm behind now.
No comment that's particularly timely, so it won't matter. But they do talk a little college football on there from time to time, you know. And by time to time, I mean every episode they talk college football.
Yeah.
But the other day, I did hear the
Wait. Let's Get Stupid or the OK podcast?
The OK podcast.
Okay. Did you say Let's Get Stupid, or was I just thinking Let's Get Stupid?
I thought I said the OK podcast, but I might have just been thinking.
You know what?
The OK
They're kind
podcast.
of the same podcast, so I probably just mixed them up in my brain.
They're both sister podcasts. So actually, now you mentioned
Let's Get Stupid.
Let's Get Stupid. They have been talking about Massenomics the last few weeks because Huck Finn is on this big thing of realizing that a lot of people are interested in home gym content on the internet.
Oh,
and he's like, oh, those fucking Massenomics guys, it's home gym this, home gym that. You know, they're fucking doing their garage gym tours every week. And he's like, that's what all these nerds want to watch is, you know, what's going on with the home gym. And
just one step ahead.
Usually, like his reasoning, it's all correct. You know, he's like usually on the ball with what's going on. It's just fun.
Deconstructing the formula.
It's fun listening to him talk about it, and then calling us nerds and stuff for doing it, but then also realizing that it's probably working. You know, so that's side tangent. Back to the OK podcast. They talk about college football.
Well,
but not my college football.
Do they talk about college football though, or do they talk about SEC football?
They specifically, I think it's only limited to SEC. They're not allowed
Would you
to
say
get
there's
out
an
the Southeastern
SEC bias
Conference.
there?
Well, there is a bit of a bias. Also, there's another bias there that I don't like, and they'd besmirch the FCS.
Yeah.
And this is FCS country around
This
here.
is actually
And this is we are the most insane FCS country. We used to be a proper FCS country, and we are again right now because they are in the Final Four. And Tommy, do you know who's in the Final Four?
I do know
of the
who's in
FCS. This is actually insane.
2 South Dakota schools and a North Dakota school, and those 3 schools are within 3-ish hours of each other.
Yeah. And they're all like the biggest of rivals, like at least Brookings is the pivot man in that equation.
I will say the one I didn't have on my bingo card for this year was
for 2024 was USD.
I didn't know USD was ever going to be good at football.
Canada's top business school, baby. Bam, bam. Yeah.
I really didn't, because they were always not good, right?
Go Yotes. That's what it's what I've always said. Go Yotes.
Big alum over here. Big booster. NIL money. Just flowing through. But were they ever good at football, though? I mean, like in the recent memory?
Not this good. I think a lot of times they weren't like some shit school. It wasn't. They haven't been SDSU and NDSU.
Yeah,
of course,
but like since because they made the move to D1, what was that, 15 years ago, 20 years ago?
That sounds about right.
Like when they made that move, I mean, they put together 500 seasons. Like I didn't even know if they had winning seasons.
I think so.
Or not.
No, I think so. Okay. Yeah, I think so for sure. I think like Big Mo and some people would know better than me, but because if you can't tell, like I don't follow it closely.
Well, when you're just throwing so much booster money at them, it's hard to even pay attention to what the wins are.
I just want to give them more money. I don't care if they're winning or losing. I just want to make sure they got my money. But so USD, Canada's top business school, my alma mater, is playing Montana, who's the number 1 seed. So that's going to be a bit of a buzzsaw, probably, unfortunately. But you never know.
Yeah.
And then the number 2 and the number 3 are the old friendly rivals, NDSU, the Bison, and SDSU, the Jackrabbits.
Has there been a year they haven't met
That's
in the playoffs
this weekend.
in like the last 10 years? Oh,
boy. Probably yes. The answer is probably yes in the last 10 years, but they play each other 2 times a year, almost like every year anymore.
Well, actually,
and they're always
3 times a year, basically, now,
and
right?
it usually has national championship implications when they play too, and in this case it of course does. So the winner of each goes to the Natty Championship, and so we could get an SDSU USD national championship, which would be fucking crazy.
I actually never thought of that. That's is pretty crazy.
I mean, obviously I knew that was the case, but I just saying it out loud, I'm like, that actually could be the national championship, which would just be decided between SDSU and USD. Which is really wild.
Funny. Yeah, you have the whole country and it's 2 schools that are
and then they go
2 hours apart.
Play down in Texas or whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
SDSU probably travels better than USD does. No doubt. They just
USD's
have
definitely got some excitement though around the having some newfound success here. What was the stat though? Like there's been a North or South Dakota school in the FCS national championship for like 12 straight years or something,
or NDSU.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
it's FCS country.
We used to be a proper friggin' country. I know that. So I just wanted to make sure FCS gets its shine, which is pretty legit football. These teams will send a lot of NFL players out. There's a lot of people rocking in the NFL right now.
There is.
I mean, these teams we're talking about beat some of the big schools regularly in the early part of the year, at least.
NDSU had Colorado beat this year. Up until didn't Colorado finally, or didn't Colorado get their go ahead score with like a minute left or something?
Yeah, I can't remember now. It's something like that though.
And that was the first game of the year. That was NDSU. SDSU played. Was it Oklahoma State? They didn't have quite as good of a day, but
right. It was Oklahoma State because Big Jake the Snake Heinrich,
right? Yeah, both of his
alma
teams.
mater of both schools. So he went down to the game and had his shirt split in half, where it was SDSU and OK State.
USD played someone pretty noteworthy too, I thought, and I can't remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember. They didn't.
They started scheduling
nobody played
those.
Nebraska, did they?
Oh, maybe they did. I think you're right.
Yeah, that seems. No. Is that right?
Let's see.
Somebody played Nebraska, I think, which that's a big deal. But
let's see. The schedule's right here. It says 2024. Oh, Northern State. It's also funny they played Northern State this year. Oh, Wisconsin. They lost to Wisconsin 13-27.
Oh, Wisconsin. Different red Big Ten team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So those games are this weekend. I'm really hoping for that South Dakota game now that I said, like, that's crazy.
That is. And
unfortunately, it's now since I say that, it's going to be Montana NDSU. And
right.
It's going to
right.
really limit my interest significantly.
I feel like because there's this unsatiable thirst for sports content that FCS has started to get a lot more coverage in recent years. You know, it's not crazy to see. Well, also our part
it used to almost be like,
but it was like hard to find. And now these games are always on like ESPN2 or some ESPN affiliate like that you can catch these things now.
It'd be like back in the day if you'd watch Sports Center at the very end of Sports Center for like 30 seconds when it was the national championship game, and it'd be like, and NDSU won 48-42.
Like shows a guy catching one touchdown pass and it's done.
Like that's how much it would get covered for the year on national coverage.
Yeah.
But no, it is. Well, and also these teams are sending a lot of
NFL
I mean,
like Dallas Goedert, good tight end for the Eagles. What's it? Tucker Kraft, tight end for for Packers. You know, big tight end country around here.
Yeah. Corn-fed. That's what they are, right? Corn-fed. We used to be corn-fed in a proper country.
And I think a fair number of guys
field corn.
I think a fair number of guys make like practice squads and stuff too. You know, like they might not be starters, but there are definitely guys going to the next level from here.
Yep.
Which is kind of crazy to think. I would have never thought, like when we were in high school, that would ever be a thing.
Well, no, they weren't even. They were just borderline becoming, Division I programs at that point in time. So we are now a proper country.
I have a feeling I might know what this is. Do you want to explain to me plural possessives, Tanner?
Do we have time today?
I think we got just a little time. Or I really want to know.
Or does that want to be a teaser for next week? Or
okay, well then, do we have time for F1 neck training? Because I'm curious what your thoughts are on that too.
My only problem with the F1 neck training is I haven't done the research that I wanted to do. Also, so it's mostly just it's mostly just a thought at this point. I don't.
Right.
What about dude? What about dude? You have dude on there? Is that anything or did we already?
Man.
Been too long.
Okay, God, this is from August. This is really old. I remember what this is. All right, so I say I'll catch myself saying dude, man, things like that. You know, I feel like that's how back when we used to be a proper country. That's how we'd address people. There's one that I'm not hip to yet that I feel like I'm actually becoming old by not doing this, and that's saying bro. Like people say bro all the time, and I don't do it. I didn't grow up with that one. No one around me said it, but now so many people, like we were out with some people not that long ago. All of them were older than me, and they're like bro, and they're like doing this. I'm like, dude, I missed that one. I missed the wave. It already passed me by. Am I allowed to even say that? Is how I was thinking. But like the way you guys just throw this out so casually, it's just bro this, bro that. I almost.
Yeah, that wouldn't be in my normal speech. I mean, it doesn't really catch me off guard.
No, it doesn't catch me off guard at all. But at a certain point,
I don't say that. I say dude. I would be like, dude.
Oh, yes. At a certain point, though, I'm like, all right, most of the people in this group are like 40 or older, and I'm hearing a lot of bros getting thrown around right now. I just feel like I missed something along the lines there, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. I like the ones that are almost like a little insulting. Like if you call someone my guy. Hey, my guy.
Big dog.
Yeah, my guy. I did that in there was an Instagram /YouTube comment of the week. And that's how I comment if I'm ever going to do anything like snarky. I say, call him my guy. Like, hey, my yada, 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 my guy.
Because it feels like this
just
backhanded compliment.
It's like, what was it was for calling us out on being political on an Instagram post. And I want to be like, listen, my guy, you obviously do not get Massenomics if you think we're being political on a Instagram post.
Yeah, and then you said, and we used to be a proper country.
But for that matter, we did used to be a proper country, god damn it. But because for that matter, just to expound on it, it was because I made a meme of the guy that shot the
I don't think I saw that
healthcare
one.
executive.
Yeah.
Well, it was because it wasn't really.
No, I'm saying I don't even think I saw that post.
What was it even now? Oh yeah, okay, this is it. Yeah, because it was barely even about that whatsoever. This was the post, so you can see here. It's it's a picture of the gym with a grill and a 6-pack of Shiner Bach on it, and it just says a 6-pack of brewskis and grilling a steak at your house after the gym would never have turned you in, Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
So it had
Okay,
his
yes.
name in it because like someone at McDonald's.
Yeah, was narking on him.
Yeah. So like the joke was just going to the gym and then going home and grilling and having a 6-pack of brewskis would never have turned you in.
Uh-huh.
And someone got upset
mad
that
at
was, yeah. Oh man, he went off and off for comments and like
Really? So what
just
was he
like-
mad about? That like you weren't being
I gotta
respectful to that CEO getting killed? Was that?
I think so. It might be deleted now.
Mm.
Big Kevin's got a pinned comment on there with a lot of likes, though. We used to be a proper country. And they said this is either the best or worst ever use of this phrase. I want to find what that guy's comment. I can't see it. Oh, I don't know. It might be. Maybe he deleted it finally. Oh, okay. Here's one. Maybe I think this is. So yeah. So you're praising a guy who murdered someone because of the way healthcare is ran. Our current system, blah blah blah.
like, oh,
Obamacare
that's a pretty
allowed the
big
insurance
jump.
companies to do. That's
It's already
like
a big
I feel like
jump
you're
to
jumping
be-
the shark there.
Yeah, to be like we're praising someone here. Like that's
That's yes, exactly. And I think that's what I said. And well, my response, I actually really like my response, even reading it back days later. I go, the only thing I'm praising is slamming a nice cold 6-serve bruchachos, my guy.
because you can't
That
even, you
and
don't
Dale
even
Earnhardt.
acknowledge that you can't even
Yeah.
give them fuel because you're like they're trying
Yeah.
to take it this road and you're way over here. You're
And-
not even in the same game.
Yeah. And then his response to that, uh-oh, now you're trying to cover by saying it's a silly video. It's political. And I'd be like, and then
You should be like, yeah, you're right. Shinerbach is pretty serious.
well, then someone even said, sir, this is a meme page.
God, no kidding.
That's why I'm like, I promise it is not rooted in, like, there's not a secret political message. There was, I saw something similar on another meme, and I'm like, that's pretty funny, but what would be funnier if it was the gym, brewskis, and grilling out at home.
Yeah, some people just don't know how to handle themselves online.
No, that's why we used to be a proper country, actually. Kind of actually makes me think we used to be a proper country. Yeah, do stay tuned for episode 456 where we can cover plural possessives. We do like to get into speech and grammar at times on the Massenomics podcast, and I don't know that we've ever particularly covered plural possessives, but I've got some things to say about it. And I'm not going to say anything else because I'm almost getting into it. I just want the rest to be a surprise for next week.
I'm just reading that comment. That is very funny. How bad that guy wants to be a gotcha. He really wants to save the world from.
I'm like, that really, he really deserved a my guy, and he got it.
Yes, sir. This is a
He
meme page.
earned himself a my guy right there. Okay. I am wearing this Massenomics hoodie, and I'm feeling extremely hot right now, so I'm excited for this to. And that's how warm our hoodies are. Oh, what was that?
Pushing buttons on accident over here.
Oh, okay. We do still have a few hoodies left. We have our Zip Metalnomics. We've got a few of those in sizes left. We got a few big boy sizes of our Massenomics lifting department crew neck. So if you're like a 3X or a 4X, a lot of times those big guys complain, oh, you're always sold out in my sizes. And like almost all the hoodies, we have like 3 or 4X, a few 3X and 4X left.
Mm-hmm.
So check those out. We also have some of these patch hats, these Richardson
They are nice.
black on black snapback with the custom sewn, 100% sewn patch on there. And our shorts, the best shorts ever. It's the best shorts in the game. We put our shorts against any shorts.
I did have that on. I did have that on my bingo card for 2024. Making the best goddamn shorts ever made.
Turning this place into a proper country once again is what we're doing. Taking it from unproper and making it proper, like a country's supposed to be proper.
That's right. Capitalize those letters.
Proper country. Say it louder for the people in the back. All right, Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
All right, go leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. New videos every week. We just did the Los Campeones gym tour. New videos every week on YouTube. You can follow me at Tanner_Baird. Nobody cares about that. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
So, yo.